in the middle of the night or early Friday morning, depending upon where you are in the world. A group of experienced comics professionals get together to examine and instruct about the art form that they love. That's great comic artwork on Comics by Night, Fridays at 5 a.m. Eastern, here on the Indie Comics Network, indiecomicsnetwork.com.
What was that? This is not a charade.
Wow. Would you look at that? Welcome to episode 99
What a
of
crowd.
Nerd Bacon.
Whoa.
Man, next week is our 100th episode. We will be doing giveaways next week, guys. One every hour.
That's
If you know
exciting.
anything about this show, you know that's
Not me, right?
quite a bit. No,
No,
we're
we're
not
not-
going to give
no.
away Pedro.
That was a joke, Pedro.
Cool.
Yeah,
All right.
we won't actually give Pedro away.
I was sweating over that. Just
I don't blame you. I don't
Yeah.
blame you.
yeah.
You know, some of these guys out there, they're deviants. We know you guys. We know who you are.
Yeah. Mhm.
We know what you are.
Ooh.
It's okay. No judgment here, right?
Pedro's
Not at all.
getting,
everyone's gay once in a while.
Pedro's getting all the tactical gear ready in the back, in the back after the episode. He's like, you
Yeah.
ain't coming for me.
Yeah.
Just remember, you're not officially gay until you've done it twice or admit you liked it.
Yeah, exactly.
All right,
No,
very
I
good.
mean, I think you're officially gay when you look back. I think.
When you look back,
When you look back, yeah.
I always say it's not gay if you pay for it.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, we've got Gary Kissel here today. We'll be talking about him a little bit. Comic book artist, pro, and
make you
YouTube.
sound like a kraut when you say that.
Are you Dirty Kraut?
No, mine's from the French side of the Isos Lorraine. So there are two L's at the end. So the name is pronounced Cassell on my side of the
Kissel.
So,
Kissels are in New York. They have one L at the end.
You're a Frenchie, yeah?
We hate them.
yeah.
Oh, look, you've
I can see why.
you've informed me,
Mhm.
but I probably will still continue to pronounce it wrong.
That's
Can't
a,
nobody tell me nothing. You can't tell me nothing.
But I can tell.
that's
me.
why, by the way, my name is spelled with an A on the name, even though it's with an E in real life. I put an A in there so it doesn't cause confusion for others.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. So it's Gary instead of Jerry.
Jerry,
Or Gary.
just I could say that I hate being called Jerry because I don't really. It annoys me.
I'm always reminded of Parks and Rec.
Uh-huh.
It was Gary, but they called him Jerry, then Terry, then Larry. Like
Yep.
all the different names.
He was just that was out of disrespect for him, though.
Right. Well, Randy, how was your week, man?
Why did you
Good.
pick
Better
him
than
after
this
talking
connection.
about
I'll tell
Jerry?
you that.
What's that? Randy, are you even with us?
He's there. He's just broken.
I'm here, but the connection is crappy. I'm going out and coming back in again.
All right. Well, we'll move on to Pedro. Pedro,
I thought Randy was having a moment. Like, oh,
I'll be right back. The connection is crappy.
I
The
think
connection
it's
is crappy. I'll be
StreamYard.
right back.
all right.
I think it's StreamYard because I'm having weird connection too.
All right.
Pedro, how about you? How you doing today? This
Oh,
week?
dude, really well. Animating a storm, taking care of clients, working on Wipers and Kaijus, getting ready for barbecue in the weekend.
Ooh, barbecue weekend. That's nice.
Yeah, I got
That's
some nice
awesome.
short ribs and some tomahawks. So it's gonna be nice.
That sounds
And by the
great.
way, I tried to find you, Pedro,
Uh-huh.
on Twitter, and I couldn't find you.
Oh, at Ngilla. It's
Would you
Yeah.
put that in a private chat for me?
yeah. Well,
He can't make it easy for people to find him. He uses all kinds of different names and stuff like a weirdo.
I'm from Latin
love you,
America.
Pedro,
What can I
but-
say? I'm from Latin America. We do
So-
things weirdly down here.
So how many names do you have, Pedro? 4?
2,
4, right?
Yeah, 4 names.
It's like
yeah.
Pedro
Are you Catholic?
something Ang.
Yes.
Same here.
Oh,
Everybody in my
nice.
family, all my kids, all my family siblings, we had 4 names.
Oh, yeah, that's how it's done. You keep your mom's name too, and you get a second name. Especially if your daddy went to law school, then you're gonna get a really screwed up second name, like I did.
There you go.
I'm not gonna divulge that now.
How am I now? Better?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
you're great now. Crystal
Cool.
clear.
Randy.
Good.
How was your week, Randy?
It was crazy, but good. It's the
Yeah.
usual. We had our Christmas over the weekend, so
Oh,
Oh,
It's all
a little
good.
late, but better late than never, right?
yeah. The only time we get the whole family together was after the holidays.
My
Oh,
son flew to
Mm.
Florida this week, so
Mm.
we put him on a plane Sunday morning, and he flew down there to
Mm.
surprise his friends for his friend's birthday. So it was kind of his gift was being there for him. Probably, I'd say it's his
Nice.
best friend. Yeah. So yeah, it was nice. It was nerve wracking for mom and I. We were freaking out, but it turned out okay. It turned out okay. I had a big week. I'll talk about that a little bit
Good.
more here in just a minute. But I had a pretty good week. Whiskey, how about you? Doing all right, man?
No, I am frustrated week. This is the main artist for my project, Driftwood, the comic I'm working on, dropped off the project, and that's the second
no.
time this actually happened.
Oh,
The first
bummer.
guy wasn't delivering pages or wasn't doing like what was asked of him. He was just like sort of just phoning it in, do whatever he wanted, and then
Mhm.
complain when I'm like, this isn't what I asked for. And then I'm like, it was like $300 deep USD or whatever with the guy, the first guy. And then the second artist, Renzo, he drops off because he's, I guess, doing other books and he didn't have the time to do it even though he agreed to do it. But he offered me a refund for the stuff. But I'm like, it just threw me for a loop, and I'm just kind of trying to figure out how to catch up again, I guess.
I get that.
Was it a
Here,
young artist?
Sorry, what?
Was it a young artist?
Yeah, I think he's probably around my age, I guess. or
Renzo,
like-
he's not very young.
No, he's not a young. No, he's not a
Isn't-
spring
is-
chicken.
he doesn't put his face up very often, so.
He could be like 1,000,000 years old. We don't here. Maybe this will cheer you up with.
So, like,
Speaking
he
of
wasn't-
Kissel,
he wasn't like mean about it or anything. We didn't have any like words. Like he was very sorry about it. He obviously couldn't meet the deadlines for all the projects. Yeah, you have to cut somebody, and like ours wasn't far in, so it made sense.
Yeah.
And he offered a refund. He could have just told me to, like he could have said, "Oh, I already did the art," but he's a good dude.
He's professional. Yeah. I mean, it happens sometimes. Sometimes you just can't,
just sometimes it's just you're the unlucky guy.
I'm a nice guy, but I don't refund when I do the work. Ever. I got to get paid for my hours.
He's certainly nicer than I am. We dropped Randy again. That's unfortunate. We're getting ready to welcome the chat here in a minute here. Let's go ahead and welcome the chat. Let's see who's in the house today. We've got Genuine Comics here. Welcome, Dave. It's good to have you here. Levi Spoon is in the house. Hail to the chat. Bring on the sizzle. We certainly did. There's Glenn Fleming. Glenn will be joining us next week.
A friend of mine from England.
Yeah, Glenn will be joining us next week for our 100th episode. Yeah,
we're supposed to be doing a book together, him and I.
Yeah.
Oh,
not Glenn.
We've got the comic book black belt, Russ Leach in the house. Welcome. It's good to have you here today. Amanda Confusa.
That's my girlfriend.
Anima Confusa.
Hi,
chat. Welcome. Hey. Nice to have you. Thanks for stopping by today.
So she's a confused soul?
No, Anima Confusa means feminine aspect of the masculine mind.
Okay.
No, that's a mouthful, isn't it?
Yeah.
Hail to the chat. Morning
when I found out her nickname, I'm like, yeah, I got to get to know you. That's crazy.
Gotta get to know you.
We got Hojo in the chat this morning. Good morning. Good morning.
What's up, Hojo?
We got Critical Blast here as well. RJ, welcome. It's good to have you here today. May the odds be ever in your favor. And he's referencing our title this morning, The Hunger Games meets Indie Comics. Because if you have been around it all this week, you know that this week has been a crazy week in Indie Comics. We have a lot of news to read today. We have a lot to go over, and we do have some topics to bring up as well as getting to know our new friend Gary here a little bit more, what he's done and what he is doing. Genuine Comics says, yes, next week we'll celebrate that. It was 100 episodes ago since I graced your show as a guest. It was. I believe you're one of the first guests we've ever had. And let me see, who else do we got going in here today? Oh, yeah. Critical Blast would like to remind us that it's Miller, not Millar.
Millar.
I prefer Millar.
Yeah,
because it's malarkey.
Yeah.
Yeah, he says no bias here. We just like the French and the Germans. Thank you, Russ, for that levity. We do appreciate it. RJ William in the house. Hail, nerds. Good to have you here. Just Call Me Insane has joined us. Good morning. We got Mark A. Smith in the house. Hello, all. It's good to have you here. And it must be a full moon with all these emotions running high. I do agree. If you're in the chat today, please feel free to join in on some of our conversation, what we got going. We have quite a bit to talk about. First, I want to talk to Gary a little bit. Let some of
that's me.
Yeah. Let some of our viewers know about you. I'm going to ask you a couple questions because maybe some people don't know who you are. So, Gary, how long have you been in comic books?
I started in 2010, and I had worked in the 80s on some indie comics, got paid to work for other people, but I didn't see much of a future in it. So I went to working as an artist for magazines, and there was good money for me in that. I did that until 2000s, and then I went to work for the internet, and I did advertising, marketing, artwork for one of the biggest things I ever did is Rockwell International. I did murals for the sides of their tech trucks. They had really cool space like artwork on the side, and I did all that. First thing I did out of the Army, I did 2 Star Trek art prints.
Wait a second. So did you hand paint the murals, or did you?
No, I painted them, and then they were photographed and then printed.
Very cool.
They do a cool. It's a real thin Mylar that they use, and they put it on the sides of the trucks. It was a really cool job. It was really pretty. Rockwell owned a company called Meritor, and that did automatic transmissions for trucks, big diesel trucks. And I designed cool space, like sci-fi looking artwork for the sides of their trucks. It was fun.
Very cool. Very cool. So
in 2010, IDW hired me. Okay. I had already been working for IDW. I was their animator director for all their videos. I composed the music for in-house marketing for when they went to comic shows, and then I would do animated trailers for the comic titles. That's how I
Nice.
met a few of the artists and writers and became friends with them. They love the cool animations I do for their comics.
So what was your first like
18.
illustrating work for
Oh,
IDW?
first ever. Oh, for IDW is I worked.
Yeah.
First of all, I was their secret weapon. I've worked on more things than most people know I've worked on because I don't get credit for a lot of the work I did. I was their in-house workforce, sort of like a script doctor for artwork. I would go in and I'd fix other people's artwork where they screwed things up. And one of the first gigs I did was the A-Team, tied into the movie
Oh, very cool.
Wow.
for 20th Century Fox IDW.
Big
And
fan of the 18.
I specifically worked on the Face issue with Chuck Dixon. That's how Chuck Dixon and I became friends. And if you become friends with Chuck Dixon, you're going to become friends with Graham Nolan. It's a rule.
Is
Oh,
it?
wow.
Yeah.
Very nice. All right. So at IDW, so from there, where did you move on from there? What was the kind of the
I
next
pretty
step?
much stayed as their workhorse for years. And I liked it, because they'd always give me work. Hey, can you fix this? Can you color this? They did a lot of coloring. And, I happen to be a really good airbrush artist, so it translates over to Photoshop. So I just
Now, are
do
you
the
still
same
doing
thing.
work for IDW or?
No, the last thing I did for them was a year ago in the final run for G.I. Joe. I did a G.I. Joe cover, which I can actually show you guys real quick. I'm recoloring it because I hated the colorists that worked on the actual printed version. Here, I'll show you the recoloring I'm working on right now. There we go.
Oh, very
Because
nice.
he did it as a day shot, and it's supposed to be a night shot, and it looked goofy the way he colored it.
Oh,
I think it was like the first coloring job this guy ever did that did the work for IDW. And I'm like, this guy took none of my notes. None of my notes.
No, we're gonna have some conversation about IDW today.
Yeah.
IDW always seems to be in the news. They don't seem to be doing very hot.
No, they're in a lot of trouble. I kind of stopped working for them
sorry.
because I got hired in 2014 as a G.I. Joe artist. I was supposed to be their new cover artist. And the guy that stepped in, because I was hired by Andy Schmidt, who went on to work for Hasbro. And his marching orders were before he left that I was their new cover artist and the guy was supposed to work with me. But the guy found out I was conservative and a veteran, and he never spoke to me. He never responded to any emails, never took a phone call from me.
That's
And
rough.
so
Imagine that.
I didn't get to do a cover until he was fired.
Mm.
Wow.
And
Right.
Tom Waltz is my bro, man. We've been friends. We're business partners, Tom and I. And we had a little company called Charlie Foxtrot Entertainment. And anybody in the military knows what Charlie Foxtrot means. And so, he was there. The minute he took over, he made sure I got to do at least one cover before they lost the contract. But IDW lost the Hasbro contract.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
How do you do that?
Well, yeah,
We gotta
it
call
happens, doesn't it? It happens. we speak about that stuff all the time. So what got
I've been
you?
so critical. I'll never get to work for him again because I've been very critical of them.
Yeah. So what got you doing indie comics? What made you decide to do your own?
There was no decision. It was like I was left with no choice. When I got laid off during the, that presidential administration from 09 to 16, my career died. And when you're in your 50s,
Yeah.
nobody's going to hire you. They can hire new young guys for half the price. So I was forced to start looking for comic jobs. And that's really what I did. That's how, it really started with 2010 with IDW getting me that gig with the A-Team. And I did a lot more.
So have you
And-
done any? Tell me a little bit more about your sequential art kind of background, because Randy and I were big fans of sequential art stuff.
Well, I'm also a storyboard artist, and I'm not a comic artist per se. I didn't learn the comic book way. I'm an illustrator that just happens to know how to do sequential art. My preference is to do covers. One, you get paid more. Two, I don't want to waste a lot of time with people, especially on comics that I don't really want to work on. And I'm at an age now where I just walk away from projects because I'm not interested, or I think the guy's a douche. that I'm going to work with. I'm like, nope. I'd rather not work than have to work with people I don't like. So I predominantly work with my friends when I do stuff. I have a lot of friends that want to do comic books, and so we'll do campaigns where they'll find funding some other way, and I'll work with them on those.
Nice. Now we'll talk a little bit more about your project, how you got into it, a little bit later in the show. But I think it's time we dive into some of this news, because boy, do we have a lot of news to cover today.
It's a heavy news week.
It's a heavy news week, and we got stuff to talk about that's not even being covered by anybody because it's just egg on their face, right? So we're gonna talk about it today. We'll get into that here. Hold on a second. Let me work on. I boomered it for a second. My bad. My bad, fellas. Here we go. I was not ready. Now I am. All right.
Okay.
First off, let's look back at some memoriam here. We lost a couple people this week. Attila Futaki passed away. Artist for Severed, Conan, Percy Jackson in the Percy Jackson graphic novels. The Hungarian artist Attila Futaki died on January 2nd, 2024. The news was announced by his French publisher, Anat, in a tweet which said that the artist died after a brief illness. He was only 39 years old, guys.
Damn, guys. That's
Speaking of the French.
That's rough.
Yeah, speaking of French, yeah.
Oh.
So yeah, he passed on. We also lost John M. Burns.
Oh,
No.
Yeah.
didn't know.
Yep, January 4th. British artist John M. Burns, best known for his work on Judge Dredd, Nikolai Dante, and other 2000 AD series, died on December 29th.
Wow.
2023.
So close.
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
born in 1938 and got his start at Link Studios, an art agency run by Doris White that provided artwork for a number of titles in Burns' art. And Burns' artwork ran in Girls, Crystal, and School Friend, as well as The Champion and the Wonder Horse Annual.
He worked for
Wow.
Gold Key Comics with the Space Family Robinson series. Wow.
Yeah,
It's a hell of a
that's,
run, eh?
It
Yeah,
is.
right.
It is. And
Look at that legacy. Wow.
yeah, very, very sad to see him go, but he has left behind a lot of amazing artwork for us all to enjoy. So those two will be missed. It's always sad when we lose someone in our industry. On some brighter note, Penthouse Comics relaunches with new content, guys.
There you go.
I know you've been waiting on that.
Let the
Oh.
fun begin. Yeah.
Penthouse Comics is coming back to comic shops, and ICV2 has an exclusive look at the cover for the second issue. It could only be the cover, I'm sure. Nathan Yoakum and Ryan Swanson have partnered with Penthouse to produce the new comics, which will be published bi-monthly in an oversized format, similar to that used by
So
Distiller.
the comics are going to be by, is what you're saying.
That's what she said. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey-o.
Yeah.
That'll be an interesting gig.
96 and change.
Yep.
Heck yeah.
Mm,
Of which about 70 will be comics.
yes. 96 interior pages, of which about 70 will be comics, and will also include a photo shoot with a
Ooh.
model and a mix of editorial content.
Oh my god.
Woo. We
This is
consider the
smut,
comic to be
yeah.
mature, but not necessarily adult or pornographic.
Smut.
Yoakum told ICV2 nothing different than what Image publishes with Saga and Boom publishes with Faithless. Oh, so you're not going to get too much in there, I guess.
Yeah.
The first issue.
slated for. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, you go ahead. Go ahead, Randy. Take it for me.
First issue slated for February 14th, 2024, and will feature 4 comics, all first published in French. Gun Crazy by Steve D. Miss October by Stefan Desberg. And Alan, that's why you let me do it. Quirix, I think. Quirix. The Dream by Gene Dufall and Gilliam March. And I Spit on Your Grave by Jean Davis.
Jean David.
Jean-David Morvans.
Move on.
Adaptation of Boris Vallejo's 1946 noir crime novel, not to be confused with the movie of the same name. The issue will have 9 covers, 3 of which are polybagged due to not safe for work content.
Well, there you go.
It's smart.
You know what? I hope they put some stuff in there for Pedro.
Yeah.
Because Pedro really likes, this is
Taste the biscuit. Taste the goodness of the biscuit. Taste the honey sauce. Taste the goodness of the biscuit with the honey sauce.
Taste the honey
learned-
sauce.
What the hell was that?
Yeah.
That is what
Taste
it is.
the biscuit.
I've learned to appreciate the attention of the elderly. That's all I'm gonna say.
Russ says I bite for the articles.
There you go.
They feed you too.
Welcome, Henry Throll. It's great to have you here with us
What's up,
today.
Henry?
Hail, hail.
Yeah, I buy it for the articles. Of course you do. That's what we all buy it for.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exciting stuff right there. I know we all can't wait. All right, so some good news here.
Mm-hmm.
Last month, Leif Smith, owner of San Francisco Mission Comics, invited the community to discuss what could be done to keep the business going. About 35 people showed up, and they had a lot of ideas, from freshening up the window displays to going on TikTok. There was a recognition that an event or two is not going to change the course. So we needed some longer-term involvement, Smith told Mission Local. The way the people wanted to take ownership of projects wasn't something I'd really expected, he said. The show of support was encouraging, adding, there was a real appreciation that I wasn't just deciding to close in silence.
Yeah.
You can get your car washed, buy a tube of toothpaste, and play Magic the Gathering, all in the same place. If you happen to live in Thompson, a small town in northern Manitoba, Thompson Auto Wash started out as a car wash in 2004, expanding into convenience store in 2017, and now hosts game nights as well. Manager Aman Thethi. You know what?
And if anybody's seen the series Breaking Bad, you know how valuable car washes can be.
Yeah.
Yeah, you really do. Like,
And what if an old lady comes to your comic shop and says, like, I'll help you, but only if you take the biscuit? Would you take the biscuit?
I am the one who knocks.
I would.
I don't know, man. Probably not. Depends on what kind of biscuit you're talking about. I do like a good buttermilk biscuit. I mean, I'm fat after all, right? So, yeah, that's pretty cool. And a car wash. That's
A
getting into
car wash
games.
that hosts game nights. Yeah.
Right. Here's another one. When we heard that Hero Comics in Fresno, California was closing down, longtime customer Joey Martinez sprang into action. I was more concerned about this community that was going to break up, and I really wanted to make sure everyone had a place to get all their comics, he told KSEE. So he opened up Secret Identity Comics in a nearby location with a lot of help from Hero-owned Dave Allred. The new store had its grand opening on January 3rd, and the festivities include a special farewell presentation for Allred. It's nice, I guess, right?
Yeah.
You hear it a lot. I think, where, there was another store was closing that Miller was talking about. And I think we see more and more stores closing.
Yeah.
I don't expect 2024 is going to be a good year for reporting on that. I think it's going to be
For the direct market. The
I think
ones
it's
that
gonna
want to announce that they're closing, that is, a lot of them are just shutting down in silence.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah, I've
noted
I've
above.
had several friends' shops close here in the Springfield area.
Yeah.
They're gone.
What I find most disheartening about the whole situation is that, we've had some conversation about it, but it seems to be going nowhere. Because, let's be fair, a healthy comic industry requires a healthy Marvel and DC.
Yeah.
and they seem to be
I
doing
don't think
everything
I
they can
read-
to close it down.
Right now it does, but that's because of the Pavlovian training that Diamond has given everybody that Marvel and DC are the top dogs.
But
Even
it's
though
not
they've
just
been
that.
they've been producing trash for the last, I don't know, 10, 20
Yeah,
years.
but
still,
It's the
it's not
90s.
just
depending on who
that,
you talk
Randy.
Since
to.
the 90s. That shit started in the 90s when they were
80s.
forcing mom and pop. I'm talking about what happened in the 90s when they forced mom and pop operations to buy specific titles in order to get the titles they wanted.
Yeah.
That's when they started that mafia rule. And
But
they act just like the mob.
It's not just that. It's the recognizable characters. Nobody knows who Trashman is or Chlorine or Bone, right? Until they've gotten a hold of the books. People that are going to investigate comics are going to do so because they've gotten a hold of the content or the IPs somewhere else. And everyone knows who Batman and Superman and Wolverine and Deadpool and those characters are. So they are more likely to seek out comic books. If we're going to continue to do comics the way that we're doing them, the only way that it's going to be beneficial for everyone is if Marvel and DC are healthy. But if they're not healthy, that means we have to reinvent how we reach fans, and we have to expect a much smaller niche audience, and we become more of a novelty until the market changes, until we have an opportunity to do those things, right? So I think all of these changes people are trying to make, move into games, anime, manga, I think that's really good for the stores. It might be an opportunity for them to stay open, but I don't see a lot of them rolling with the punches too well.
That's really
because
been
of that.
going on the last 10, 20 years too.
Yeah, because of that
Yeah, big chip.
Pavlovian thing
Yeah.
that Randy talked about, and a lot of these they just get stuck in the same patterns. I mean, I even see independent creators trying to fall into the same patterns as corporate comics, right? Like some of the drama that we see inside of the independent sphere right now, it mirrors all of the same garbage and some of the same things that that started these fringe movements to begin with. It's ridiculous, in my opinion. It's crazy. Power Comics and Toys on Conway, South Carolina, recently moved to a new, larger location. That's good news. The new store is in the downtown area with much more foot traffic than its previous spot in a strip mall. Clerk Tiffany Dresser said, which will hopefully boost in-store sales. With an inventory that includes new comics, back issues, graphic novels, and toys, the store will eventually expand to the second floor of the space as well. As owner Brian Nesbitt said, we're a work in progress.
Nesbitt.
You know, I wonder about that. You know, sometimes I wonder if the desire to expand is out of necessity or out of vanity. Hubris, yeah.
I think it's a necessity because if they're switching to games, you need space for gaming.
True. I get that. Yeah. You know, I sometimes speculate that about some comic creators, though. You know, people that want to expand their scope. Is it for love of what they're doing, or is it out of hubris? Like, do you really need that much?
Yeah.
Well,
sometimes it's just like imitation. Like I reached this point, so I should be here. It's not much so much hubris. It's just like they feel like that's the right thing to do, and they don't assess their reality. So, I mean, hubris might be a reason, but I don't think it's the only one.
And I don't know if they still do it or not, but Wizards used to insist on their own dedicated space with a group of gaming tables that just sat there in a comic shop empty for the majority of the time until they played tournaments.
Yeah.
Wizards?
Wizards of the
did that,
Coast. Yeah.
They had their own store for a while?
No. They used to make all of the retailers do that in order to get the exclusive packs and the early deliveries and be recognized as an actual tournament place. They used to make them have their own dedicated space with at least a half a dozen tables.
In my experience, it's never been the case. Like every time I go into a mixed store where they had both, the tables would be filled up all the time. Maybe it's just a Canadian thing. I don't know.
Could be your sense
No,
of time.
I mean, in Latin America, it's the same thing. Like, you can't have like a dedicated comic book shop. So basically, what you have is a hobby shop. They have comics, games. They have the tables. They
Yeah.
sell Cheetos and Mountain Dew, and it's just a nerd zoo.
Yeah, it has to be like a nerd mecca. It can't be
Yeah.
just, I think, comics anymore.
We had a local retailer here that was in a strip mall that took over the storefront next to them, knocked a hole in the wall because Wizards insisted on them having space for a tournament, and they wanted to be the place for Magic in the area, and they were the place for Magic in the area for about 6 months until they had to fold.
Oh man, that sucks.
Yeah.
Now here's something near and dear to my heart. Look at this. Colorado Community Media looks at several local game stores that attribute their success to the communities they foster. Gaming is almost entirely about the community aspects at Enchanted Grounds. Co-owner Jeff, is that Cox? That's Cox.
Ew.
His name is Cox, spelled very weird.
Yeah.
Kokx.
Yep.
Co-owner Jeff Cox. I don't think any game store owner is
That's
actually in it to make a mint. I think we do it because we enjoy it. We like the people that come in. We like the community. And Ryan, spelled R-Y-U-N, what are these parents doing? I mean, come on. You know what it is? It's the
hippies, man.
It's Gen X. Some of those weird Gen Xers.
Oh.
Some of those older Gen Xers coming up with some weird names. Who co-owns the Golden Game Guild with his wife, Gabby Mann.
What?
Ryan Valdez and his wife, Gabby.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's funny.
Pointed out the importance of having a gathering space. Our society is losing places to meet in person, Valdez said. There needs to be places beside just bars, especially for families, where people can go. And I like this coffee house and gameporium idea.
Yeah.
I mean, I spend a lot of time at my local coffee shop. And here's another one. Fox's Den Board Game Cafe is another one of those things, you know, where you kind of go and you get multiple things. Very neat what people are doing. I think we're going to see again. Here's ICV2 comic book game news. As you can see, most of these places are expanding to games, which doesn't bode well, I think, for the comic book industry.
They have a couple of those shops here in the city, and they're very popular. Like the coffee shop board game kind of thing. They have like bookshelves of board games. And you just pick it up and play it and just take it off the thing. They have some more expensive games behind the counter. You can buy everything that you can play. It's really successful business model.
Don't blame my demographic. There we are.
Welcome, John. Listening at work. We've got Agency Radio.
John.
What up, everyone?
What's up, Justin?
How about better comics? That'll work. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe that will work. We'll see. Maybe.
It's so
We'll
simple.
see.
Yeah.
It's so simple.
Yeah.
All right, man. I know you guys have been waiting for this. So
Mhm.
Oni Press has got something new for you coming out here.
Oh no! What is
Oni's
that?
ODB graphic novel.
Just thought about that
newest and
this morning.
premium.
I wanted to read an ODB comic.
Special exclusive editions of a graphic novel based on the late legendary MC Old Dirty Bastard. Wu-Tang Clan is the newest title in Oni Press's premium direct program, which offers limited edition releases to retailers directly and to consumers via Kickstarter. ODB,
Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing to.
Odie's, Discord, and B-Sides.
Yeah.
Lyrical Ruckus in the
Lyrical
City
Ruckus in the
is
city.
currently available for pre-order with a release planned for November of 2024. So you're going to have to wait a while on this one, buddy.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a Kickstarter. They got to raise the money to do the project first.
You know what else I saw? I saw on Indiegogo this morning. Logitech was doing a camera and they ran an Indiegogo for it.
Oh.
Logitech.
Like they needed to do that.
Yeah, they didn't
They're
need to
that.
do
They're
that.
that poor. Yeah.
Well, they didn't need to do that, but it was. I mean, they were funded in 5 minutes. You know.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
I guess it's publicity for them. I guess
That was how well. You go back to the previous article.
Yeah. Can't wait to not buy that one.
It's a 112-page graphic anthology.
Yeah.
In collaboration. Whoops, scroll up. With production and management company 4 Screens, and approved by the estate of ODB. Force Screens produced ODB, A Tale of Two Dirties, the first authorized documentary on ODB's life and times, which will air in 2024 on the A&E network, which everybody gets anymore, right?
Yeah.
We all get that one. We all get that. We all love it.
Look at that lineup. Look at that lineup. Anyway. Contributors Manhouse, Mike Del Mundo, Damian Scott, Ronald Wimberly, Troy, Jeffrey Allen, Paris Aline, David Brame, Dojo Gubser, Jay Hero, Jason Pierce.
Pierre.
No,
Yeah.
Jason Pierre. Sorry, not Jason Pierce, Jason Pierre, Ike Reed and David Gordon, Chris Robinson, Regine Sawyer, and Felipe Sobreiro.
Sobreiro. Yeah.
Sobrero.
There you go. Yeah, like you say sombrero, but you take out the M.
Yeah, Sobrero.
Yeah, there you go.
Exclusive deluxe hardcover and softcover editions will be released under the Premium Direct program, along with exclusive limited run Super 7 action figures and a hyper limited 7-inch vinyl single.
Look,
That's why they have the Kickstarters, because they got so much stuff attached to it. And
Yeah, it's a lot of overhead there.
all of those big names have to be paid.
well, and they're using it for distribution is what they're doing.
Yeah,
They found that's the easiest way to get directly to the customer. See, these big companies are saying the easiest way to bypass all the hassle of marketing and all that baloney is to go directly to the customer through crowdfunding. I think you're going to see a lot more of that rather than actual crowdfunding moving forward in this year. I really do. Oni publisher Hunter Goranson explained the Premium Direct program. As publishers, we have a near infinite wish list of limited. Pardon me, Randy, can you take that?
I can. Only publisher Hunter Goranson explained the Premium Direct program. As publishers, we have near infinite wish list of limited edition items, things like signed copies, slipcased hardcovers, boutique merchandise, and other upgraded enhancements that are often requested by fans, retailers, and creators alike. But that would prove impractical at the retail level if we were to solicit them through standard channels, he told ICV2. Our Oni Premium Direct program, however, allows us to connect directly with readers and retailers to produce highly specialized, limited run items that are entirely pre-order driven and can be specifically or specially crafted in batches exponentially smaller than their standard mass market counterparts.
So print on demand. That's what they're doing.
Yeah.
So they're saying, you know what, this whole
demand.
diamond thing ain't working out so well for us. We're going to go directly to the customer, to the
Gotta do
retailer
something.
through these programs. I get it. I get it. Oni Premium Direct sales to retailers will match the retailer's discount from Diamond or Lunar. But you know what?
Right
Even
there.
by matching that, they're making more money
Oh, yeah.
because they're not paying those distributors their cut. That's great.
Big
Grayson told
glory.
us. Go ahead.
It'll be a glorious day when Diamond is finally put down.
It might be a glorious day this year. You never know.
It might happen. It might happen, especially if you see more and more publishers doing stuff like this. Garrison told us, and retailers' shipments will be as close to simultaneously with Kickstarter fulfillment as possible. All of the special products offered via the Kickstarter, including the limited action figures and vinyl record, will be available to retailers ordering directly. Oni plans a standard trade release of the unlimited softcover edition in November 2024 as well.
That's why
Let
it's
me ask
taking them so long to kick that out. It's because they've got all these other little premium tchotchkes they're going to do, they're going to fulfill, and then they'll kick out the mass market.
Well, let me ask this. We're all fans here, right? We all buy comics.
Yep.
Would you wait and buy it from your retailer, or would you just get the Kickstarter?
If it was something that I wanted, like enough to click on the, I don't know, man. 50-50.
Oh, I don't think this gives retailers market version much hope at all, because anybody who's an ODB fan who's aware of the campaign will jump up on Kickstarter and buy whatever they want.
Yeah.
You know?
And I think it all depends on what's offered in the campaign. If there's like a lot of special offers and things that are exclusive to the campaign, people might be inclined to go there, you know. But if they don't only want the book, like, I don't know. It depends on how much you like the IP. Like, it's several factors.
Hope they recreate the time ODB picked up his food stamps in a limo. Yeah, there you
Yeah,
go.
that happened. Yeah, let's not forget that.
Oh, the indies, like indies, the direct marketplace has shrunk, so cut out the middleman. Yeah, pretty much. But this isn't new, though. You can't blame Oni for this because who is it? There was a limited Power Rangers.
Yeah.
Look, and there's been a lot of campaigns over the last 5 to 10 years by these publishers for different products that went directly to consumer.
Again, we're seeing people partner with some more Kickstarter. Again, you know, Massive Publishing decided to do Gordon Murphy's Zorro, Man I'm Dead, on Kickstarter, right? So now they're partnering with Omnibus, the digital platform, to do their digital fulfillment.
Interesting.
Nothing wrong with that.
It's too bad I didn't trademark the Massive Comics name when I had it.
It really is.
Yeah.
Yep.
So they
sent a letter.
They raised $302,000 from 2,695 backers. That's not a huge print run.
Oh,
Nope.
Yeah. It's not a bad haul, though. I mean, it's nothing to shake a stick at.
look at that collection of unknowns that they've got, though.
Yes.
Doing
Covered by
covers.
Raphael
Yeah.
Albuquerque. Dyke Ruin. Joe
Who?
Quesada. I almost called him Quesadilla.
Joe Quesadilla. No.
Yeah,
Joe
Walt Simonson.
Quesada. Who's that guy?
Humberto Ramos.
Humberto Ramos,
Humberto Ramos, yeah. Dan
Dan
Panosian, and Sean Murphy.
Yep.
Wow.
I know who Sean
name-
Murphy is.
His name's
The only
Dyke.
one I know.
That's a TV actor, right? No, never mind.
No.
Okay.
Here's some good news. Comic store market share. Let's take a look at that.
Weehaw.
Marvel Comics, DC Comics, and IDW Publishing all lost market share in the fourth quarter of 2023 compared to the third quarter. While Image Comics made the biggest gain, Marvel Comics went from 3.87% of the market to 36% instead of the 37.8%. DC Comics slipped from 24.9% to 23.3% in the same period. IDW went from 5% to 4.1%.
Just water circling the drain, the sink drain.
Yep. Image Comics made strong quarter moves from a 9.8% to 12% behind
Wow.
the performance of Skybound's new Hasbro series.
There you
And
go.
Boom Studios, Dark Horse Comics, and Viz Media all posted gains as well. So that's what you're seeing, especially this Viz Media. You're seeing them. They've just started coming in. And there's not a lot of comic shops are selling the manga yet. Right?
Still
So
going through bookstores, yeah.
so the more that pick up, and this is just the Comic Hub stores, right? So the 100, 200 some stores that do that. So
Yeah.
this is just them. The more stores that start bringing in the manga, the more you're going to start seeing Viz take over this market share.
Titan Comics 0.8%.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
I
data
think
on these, which the market
Sorry,
share
125
percentages are
stores.
based, is from sales tracked at point of sale by Comic Hub Systems at stores selling American comics and graphic novels around the world. During the period of which these reports were generated, there were over, 125 stores.
Hmm.
Is that 100? I can't see past your,
125.
there it is. Yeah, 125 stores using the Comic Hub system. As this is a small, non-random sample of over 3,000 stores selling U.S. comics worldwide, which I would really need to see that backed up by some figures. These rankings may not be typical of all stores, but do represent a variety of locations and store emphasis.
I have heard of Dan Panesian, but no, I think Sean Murphy might be one of the last that I'm aware of that I recognizable mainstream artists. Yeah,
kind of name recognition. I feel most newer artists for Marvel or DC. Yeah,
I was just thinking
comics like the junk bonds of comics.
I was thinking about
Titan is currently doing a very big run of Conan comics that are getting a lot of recognition. They're supposed to be incredibly good. I haven't read them, but I've heard they're supposed to be incredibly good.
I was just thinking about manga, and I'm thinking maybe Western comic artists or American comic artists should start releasing manga covers and then put their in the manga books and just open it up and it's it's like an American comic, just like sneak it in there, see what happens.
Yeah, David Finch even did his art book through Kickstarter. I'm telling you, a lot of these people are going direct to the. They're realizing how, anyone that's trying to say crowdfunding is dead. I think quite the contrary. I just think you're going to see crowdfunding being used in a different way.
Mm-hmm.
So IDW Publishing and Paramount Global have renewed their contract for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles
comics, ensuring that IDW's top-selling property will stay with the publisher and continuing a relationship that began in 2011.
I can't talk anything bad about that because that's my buddy Tom. He's the one that's overseeing that.
Well, maybe he can get you a cover or two.
I don't think so. I've said some critical things about IDW that'll keep me from probably ever working with them again.
Yeah, I know that I'll never get a mainstream job ever.
2024 is the 40th anniversary year for the franchise, which
began I took it very personally when
84.
I didn't get the job that I was supposed to be hired for.
I hear you.
And I didn't hide my displeasure.
Hmm.
But I still thank Tom because he got me work.
Yeah. So that's good news. At least they're going to have the TMNT, the Ninja Turtles, to hold on to for this year. Looking forward to more of that. Now, I wanted
it's one of the few things that's making money.
Yeah.
Let's change gears a little bit here.
Kept that company alive.
We've talked about AI art quite a bit here.
Mm-hmm.
Wacom now. Peter Gilmore knows this. So Wacom got caught using AI art on their latest promo ad, then deleted it when they were found out. The company that relies on and exists because of actual artists was too cheap, lazy, and thinks so little of their customers to hire a real artist. Thankfully, I use Uvion tab. I too use Uvion. So here, check this out. That AI art was used for this ad piece here. Very nice. I mean, it's so clearly AI. It's not even good AI.
For the traditionalists in the audience, I guess, or in the chat or whoever, Wacom is a popular tablet drawing company, like the digital screens, tablets, all that stuff. Just in case you don't know.
So Gary, what's your thoughts on? They do overcharge. What's your thoughts on AI art? How do you like? What does it make you feel?
Are you asking me?
Yeah, Gary.
I don't like it.
The only Gary here.
I gotta be honest. I don't like it. I've got a friend, and I love him. Tree Rock Creations, good dude, man. Very supportive of our channel. Very supportive of what I do. But he is just in love with AI and posts new shit every day. And it just annoys me because nobody created that. What it's doing is it's reaching out to other creators, artists, and combining it to create this. And that's work that you could have paid somebody to do.
Yeah.
And I just don't like it.
They don't want to pay someone to do it. That's why they're using it.
Yep.
And I used Wacom for years too, Glenn. I now use an Intuit one and Huion. And it does everything that the Wacom did, and it's like half the price.
I've got a Uion right in front of me right now.
It's amazing.
I've got another Uion upstairs. I got a 20-inch canvas that I'll be using as a giveaway when my channel reaches a milestone, and we're not quite there yet. We did just reach one milestone this week. The channel finally got 75,000 views over its lifetime, so that's pretty good.
That is fantastic, dude.
Yeah, and we're up over 2,800 subs now.
Excellent.
And so we'll keep working on that. But I'll be using that as a giveaway. I actually upgraded 2 years ago. A year ago Christmas, to my 24-inch Huion canvas. Man, am I spoiled? I am a spoiled bro right now.
I got the an older version of I think the 22 or 20 or something Pro. I can't remember, but it's sometimes it screws up. I'm not a huge fan. Kind of wish I had something else, but sometimes it's good.
Yeah, the new stuff, I mean, obviously is really good. So comic book black belt Russ Leach says, why would anyone want AI created art or literature? I want real people making real art, just not interested in anything AI.
There you go.
I think a lot of people kind of fall into that same category.
Yep.
Yeah, I think most people fall in that same category. But, it gets worse. It gets worse. So I'm going to, let me see.
I mean, I had this same discussion with Art and the Boys yesterday, and dude, we had this Hayao Miyazaki video. He was not talking about AI, but just like machine learning doing animation, and he just said something that really stuck with me. He said, "Have we lost faith in ourselves that we need machines to do our work?"
There you go.
Is this what life has come to?
Yeah, I don't know if you saw this, but Magic the Gathering put out some new art, right? And they said it's positively shocking how good these lands look in retro frame, right? And it says, we understand confusion by fans given the style being different than card art, but we stand by our previous statement. This art was created by humans and not AI. Well, it turns out that was a lie.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's a filthy lie.
Right here, you see very clear AR artifacts that you would not see if a human being created it. Right? So that means they had to issue an official statement.
They meant AI artist is what they meant.
They issue official statement. Thanks to our diligent community who pointed out a series of recent marketing images may have included elements of generative AI. We are rethinking our process of how we work with vendors for our marketing creative. Oh, it's the vendor's fault.
That's the artist's fault.
Clearly. Yeah. The artist used AI in Photoshop. Certainly they didn't. Certainly they didn't you know what? F them, let's make it in AI.
We already made clear that we require artists, writers, and creatives contributing to the Magic TCG to refrain from using AI generative tools to create final Magic products. What's now apparent is that we need to update the way we work with vendors on creative beyond our products, like marketing images, and we use on social media to make sure that we're supporting the amazing human ingenuity that is so important to Magic, along with so many others. We also want to get better at understanding whether and how AI is used in the creative process. We believe everyone benefits from more transparency and better disclosure. We can't promise to be perfect in such a fast-moving space, especially with generative AI becoming standard in tools such as Photoshop. But our aim is to always come down on the side of human-made art and artists. Hey, it ain't our fault.
Oh, dude.
But we'll try
the thing is, the thing they want to, I don't know, disguise or hide is that, dude, AI is a blessing for corporate America.
Yeah, I know.
There's only one thing I hate more than lying. Skim milk, which is water that's lying about being milk.
Exactly. Dude.
These liars.
No. They're
Sure,
lying
cost
openly
a
to your
storyboard
face.
artists their jobs already. So yeah.
You know what? This also reminds me. You know, it's like they're pretending to be shocked about it, right?
How can he close me up? On what ground? I'm shocked to find that gambling is going on in here. You're winning, sir. Oh, thank you very much. Everybody out at once.
Yeah.
They knew about it. They knew about it.
Not fooling anyone.
Yeah.
They just got caught.
Not fooling anyone. So here we go. We've got some
The great
remarks.
Ernie Bushmiller.
Hmm.
Raina
Ernie
Telgemeier,
Bushmiller.
Magic the Guardian artists on leaked AI list. Oop.
Yep.
List of over 4,000 artists whose work was used to train artificial intelligence products has been making the rounds of social media since John Lamb, a storyboard artist at Riot Games, tweeted screenshots of conversations with Midjourney CEO David Holtz on Midjourney Discord server. The conversations included a link to the list of artists whose names Holtz said came from Wikipedia and Magic the Gathering. Midjourney users can use the artists' names as prompts to create work in their styles. Comic artists whose names appear on the list include John Romita Jr., but not Sr., Bernie Wrightson, Jack Kirby, Steve Ditko, Carl Barks, Bill Waterston, Ernie Bushmiller, Rube Goldberg, James Kochalka, Kate Beaton, Frank Miller, Dave McKean, Robert Crumb, Fiona Staples, Alex Toth, Molly Ostertag, Raina Telgemeier, Seth Roz Chast, and Sarah Anderson, who's one of the plaintiffs in the lawsuit. Manga artists include, go ahead and use those names.
Masashi Kishimoto, Hiro Hashima, Eiichiro Oda, Naoko Takeuchi, Akira Toriyama, Natsuki Taya. Thank you.
I'll take your word for it.
Yeah.
While the list
I'll do
includes
what I can.
creators of classic,
Shocked, I'd say.
underground, and contemporary indie comics, as well as newspaper strips and manga, it omits a number of prominent artists, including Dav Pilkey, Greg Capullo, Werther Del Erdira, Peach, Momoko. Black artists appear to be underappreciated. Well, they're upset. They didn't include them. Where's your diversity and inclusion? Appear to be underrepresented. Way underrepresented.
Oh,
How dare they?
They're underrepresented in the theft ring known as Midjourney.
Steal from us.
Although Kyle Baker, Brumsmick Brandon, and Barbara
Gosh,
Brandon
dang it.
Croft are on the list, there is no mention of John Jennings, Brian Stelfreeze, Ronald Wimberley, Ufa Richardson, and Dwayne McDuffie, to name a few.
Oh, you silly, simple bastard.
Thought Dwayne McDuffie was primarily a writer. I didn't know he drew.
So isn't it a good thing that less people are ripped off at like a...
I don't know, man. Like
This article is...
as the representative of the black community, I want to put our art up for stealing.
They got Susan Van Camp on that list. I need to get a hold of her and see if she's part of that.
Yeah.
So,
Not enough minorities have been stolen from in that list.
Yeah.
It's the funniest thing ever.
Absolutely.
It's so out of place in that article, right?
It is.
It's like I just got slapped with wokeness out of nowhere.
Quick problem
What
to the
the hell
virtue
just
bat
happened?
signal. Yeah.
Dude, that's like a 1-inch woke punch right there, dude. Like I wasn't expecting that.
Just blindsides you like a pie in the face.
Yeah. Magic the Gathering artists include Reed Southern, Melissa Benson, Richard Kane, Ferguson, Ron Spencer, Susan Van Camp, Rob Alexander, and Donato Giancola, as well as MTG designer Melissa DeTora. And
yeah,
the
you're friends with
screenshotted-
Susan, right? Like she's
Yeah.
gonna be, isn't she gonna be doing some Arrow stuff?
Yeah, yes,
Hopefully,
yes,
soon?
we are. Yep.
Yes.
Hopefully in that first half of next year.
Yes, of 2025 or this year.
She's already done of this year. She's already done a new Varsos Vixen story, and we plan on doing a Tales from the Anniverse volume as well as a Varsel's Vixens volume that Susan will be the primary artist on. Yeah.
You got that email I sent you, right, Randy?
I don't know. Which email was that?
Literally this topic, Susan Van Camp.
Oh, I didn't see it, but yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, man, that little piece of that article come out and just hit me.
Hamalana.
Like, what?
There you go.
Happened?
Hamalana.
Magic the Gathering artists include Reed Southern, Melissa Benson, Richard Kane, Ferguson, Ron Spencer, Susan. Oh, you read that already.
I read that already. Yep.
Yep.
The list is currently cached on the Internet Archive's Wayback Machine and is also publicly available as an exhibit to class action lawsuit filed by several artists against Midjourney, Stability AR, and DeviantArt in January of 2023. That lawsuit alleges that Stable Diffusion, which is used by the three applications, was trained on the Leon 5B data set, a collection of billions of images that were taken from the internet and included the artist's work, and that the work was used without the artist's consent and without compensation. The battle is going on outside the courtroom as well. A group of researchers at the University of Chicago have put together a product called Glaze that interferes with AR scrappers and can be used by artists to protect their work.
Very good.
This is something that Sue's told me that she's been worried about for years.
AI wrote the article.
Yeah, AI wrote the article, probably.
That's
somebody
good.
who wanted a virtue signal, that's for sure.
Yeah. Oh, dude.
Oh, goodness. Here, you guys, I know you can't wait for this one. Marvel Race swapped Wonder Man to set resume production for Disney Plus January of 2024.
Of course.
Yeah, I mean, let's get us.
Exactly. Who cares at this point? Yep.
Yeah, right. It's more of the same.
That's what they're hoping, is that we just become so apathetic that we shut up.
Yeah.
Well, we're getting there.
No, but we're so apathetic that we shut up, but we're so apathetic that we don't watch it either. And nobody.
That's the thing. They don't count. They don't count that.
But it's funny, the farther away they stray from the original material, the less money they make.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, we need to,
But it's the mission. It's so important.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think they care about money.
Yeah, we need to steal from minorities, too. They're valuable.
I just don't think that they care about the money at all. I think it's just more about kicking out
the mission. Yeah.
Yeah, the mission.
Oh, there was an article from...
Yes. I don't know if they wanted money or they wanted something more sexual.
Exactly.
An article from Cosmic Book News that said that a lot of the current people up there at the big corporate comics just want the retailers, the direct market, to dry up and blow away because they're all toxic males.
Yeah. And it plays right into their agenda.
Yep, it does.
So Disney dropped some news on not a drop day. Apparently they're going forward with The Mandalorian and Grogu. Is confirmed development.
Not only that,
they're making a movie.
Yeah, they're holding the Rey movie over The Mandalorian.
Yeah, and everybody has to realize that this news drop happened when there wasn't supposed to be a news drop, meaning that Disney is in panic mode because of what's her name making the statements last week about I like making men uncomfortable.
Yeah, she doesn't need to do much to make me uncomfortable. Ugh.
Now, I've heard there's an other side to this coin too. In order to push the Mandalorian and Grogu movie ahead, they've had Favreau go through and scrap out his plans for Mandalorian season 4 in order to make this movie, which may mean the end of Favreau as part of Lucasfilm.
He will move on to do amazing things because Favreau
he can go wherever he wants. Yep,
he doesn't need this.
He's got the track record.
You can tell season 3 did not utilize him very much.
No,
they changed everything he planned out.
Yep.
All right, so this Echo show. Let's talk about that for a second, right?
Oh no. Okay.
So Echo, I wasn't it supposed to be a Daredevil?
No, it was always Echo, but it was meant to be 8 episodes that apparently they filmed all of it, and then they looked at it, and then they cut it back to 5 episodes.
and it was unwatchable.
Yeah.
Well, it's still pretty unwatchable. I've watched the first 2 episodes, and it is like, well, I read the first 2 episodes. I didn't watch them.
Okay.
I love the inclusion of ASL and but here's okay. So my first gripe is Echo was supposed to be like for what? Echolocation because of Daredevil. It was supposed to be about Daredevil, but now it's not. It's about this Maya character, and they're trying to give her superpowers, and she's super unlikable, but she's a bad guy still. And and now she's Native American, but she's Maya Lopez.
Yeah,
so
because
I get it.
Americans are unlikable. Like, I don't know what they're trying to do, man.
Yeah, because Mexicans are Latin Americans are
unlikable.
So let's
I mean, we are. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, I mean, but here's the thing about something that's strictly in ASL, right? You lose pacing, you lose gravitas.
Yep.
And they just don't know how to tell a good story. So not only can they put themselves in kind of a Echo is a Marvel character. Okay, I guess is it a character that I'm even aware
Hawkeye
of?
series, apparently. Yeah, she was in the Hawkeye series.
No idea.
The Deaf Girl is Echo?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I guess I'm unfamiliar with that character.
I mean,
take away my geek
card
card
at Marvel too.
Take away my geek card, I guess.
I don't know. We're not supposed to know about everything, Like I know nothing about the
comics.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm not loving it. I mean, I'm not loving it. My daughter isn't even loving it. Now, of course, I go into my wife and she's like, "Well, you go into it like already not liking it." It's like you're already going into it not liking it. And I go, yeah. I'm going into it because it's like, think about all these books that you've read and that you love. And if you go into it knowing that you're going to watch this movie or TV show on books that you already enjoy, and they're going to bastardize and butcher the story, you're not going to like it. And so, but maybe I guess I was unaware. I guess I'm going to have to find the comics and download them and read up and see how close they are to the comics. So, yes, the fight scene was very unimpressive. I'm watching the show for Vincent D'Onofrio because I believe he is a tremendous actor.
Yeah,
he is
and
probably
he's an
my
awesome
favorite.
He was
He really
scary.
is.
The Punisher.
We're in the video game era now. We need Sega's Echo, the Dolphin instead. I agree.
Yep.
Yeah, I think you're going to start seeing a switch, people moving over and doing that. But yeah, so there you go. Lucasfilm, led by David Filoni, declared the jump to the silver screen for Din Djarin
Yeah.
and Grogu with the film The Mandalorian and Grogu. Jon Favreau, director of the Mandalorian series, expressed his enthusiasm, claiming the prospect of bringing the Mandalorian and his apprentice Grogu to the big screen is extremely exciting. However, one cannot help but question this enthusiasm in light of recent challenges faced by the series. Yeah, it did not do. That last season was not so great, was it?
Yeah.
Here's and for those of you who love the video games, again, here's some more video game news. Josh Hutcherson confirms that Five Nights at Freddy is going to get a second movie. The script is in development.
Loved it.
So yeah, I've heard great things about it. I did not watch it. My daughter and my son did. They loved it. And it is getting this wasn't even like a mainstream game.
No,
like
it was an indie game, and it became a meme. Really,
it really did, and people loved it and fell in love with it, and then there became toys and merchandise, and now this movie, and you're going to get a second movie. I think you're going to start seeing an age of those kind of things going. Here's some fun news for you. William Shatner blasts Paramount for its erasure of Captain Kirk in Star Trek, saying they feel threatened by the character. This should be
good on
fun.
him.
William Shatner took shots at Paramount over the handling of Star Trek's franchise and the erasure of the most beloved character in Star Trek history, Captain Kirk. prompted by a question from ex-user Hirostras, I'm not saying that right, asking, but will we ever see Captain Kirk again? William Shatner took a recent Paramount Plus Star Trek Originals promotional image with a poster with every captain from every Star Trek show on the image, but oddly, Captain Kirk is missing.
Huh.
I love it when William Shatner shats on somebody.
Yeah.
Yep.
Look at that. No William Shatner.
Disgusting, man.
No
It's a
Captain Kirk.
Real poorly done poster anyway.
Look,
Yeah,
they
it's
put
Just
they
a crap
put
job in Photoshop. It
they
looks
put
like.
Leonard Nimoy in there.
Yeah.
Leonard Nimoy wasn't the captain.
Nope.
They even added this animated one here. Look at that. That's
That's like an ensign or something. Like, she's
Yeah.
not even a.
Yeah, she ain't a captain either.
William Shatner wrote along with the image. All you have to do is look at Paramount Plus graphics to answer that question.
Yeah.
His answer sparked outrage from fans, chief among them pop culture experts Nerderotic, Doomcock, and the Critical Drinker. This is a crime against Star Trek, says Nerderotic. Doomcock said, I love Doomcock. Doomcock's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, the dude's great.
He's a funny dude.
This is a travesty. Captain Kirk is the heart of Star Trek, and without Captain Kirk, the whole thing is a sham. God bless William Shatner and the immortal character he created. My childhood hero. Thank you for the joy you brought me, Bill. You're the best. Yeah.
Everyone
you
loves
watch that
Shatner.
show a lot, Randy.
Yeah. I like the intro.
Way to put every book on the back of the poster.
The majority of Doomcock's information is always pretty dead on. That's what I
Yeah.
That's why I like watching him.
He's
Not
also
for the
fun.
puppets. Yeah.
Why do
There's
they keep
some-
trying to
yeah.
erase you? The Critical Drinker asked.
Oh, he's toxic masculinity. That's why.
Williams' response was, it's not the first time, it's been going on for years. It makes no difference to me that a group who thinks they are enlightened or whatever they think obviously feels threatened by the Kirk character. It's a character from a 1960s TV show. Get over it.
Dude, they put a Hura in there. Like, it's openly.
Who's the purple person in the left of
No
Picard?
idea.
Yeah,
No idea. I'm
exactly.
not a Trekkie.
That's
Just-
from an
um,
unwatchable series of a bunch of kids that steal a starship.
Is that a thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
They tried to make it a
Nickelodeon.
thing. It's not that good of a thing.
I've never watched it, never
I
will.
fixed it for you,
Good for
Mr.
you.
Shatner.
There you are.
Yeah, there you go.
Hey.
Here.
Well, here's the thing. Captain Kirk was the image of masculinity.
Mhm.
I watched that old series with my dad, and Captain Kirk was the man, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he was the
Dude,
man.
and dude,
No.
he was the epitome of non-discrimination. Like, he had sex with everything in that show. She was
Right.
purple. I don't care. She was green.
Non-discriminate.
Bring it on.
Prodigy.
Non-discriminatory.
Can I use their one F-bomb?
Go for it.
Yeah, homeboy fucked an alien.
Exactly.
Yeah, he did.
Wow. Yep.
He didn't care.
No, not at all. He was like,
It's like, hey, that's a hot alien.
the hot alien. Let's go get it.
Yeah, he was all about it. We're gonna get in that.
He would have gotten that biscuit.
He would have got. Speaking
You
of
would have
biscuit,
tasted that biscuit in a heartbeat.
Taste the biscuit. Taste the goodness of the biscuit. Taste the honey sauce. Taste the goodness of the biscuit with the honey sauce.
That's the
I
kind
just-
of ladies that get you cars, baby.
I love that they're like in like a retail store, like they're like in a clothing
Thrift
store.
shop. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
like it's that is the best gig in the world. I can't wait to. I mean, I'm starting a band, and we're gonna get a gig like that. Going for it.
Oh, Joe. Back then, to be controversial, Kirk had to kiss a black girl or let an Asian drive.
Yeah. And dude, yeah, Sudu was Asian and gay, and he was at the helm.
Yeah. So yeah, it's crazy, man. I mean, when you think of Star Trek, you think of Captain Kirk, and it's funny. because Shatner is not, he's not conservative.
No.
Like, he's liberal. Like, and
He's a degenerate.
he follows along with all of the stuff.
Yeah.
That'll be great. I've seen this Conan.
Yeah.
Oh,
Upcoming
no.
Sex Swapped Conan will be a queer cringe fest with She Is Conan coming to cinemas in February. Can't wait for
South
this
Park
one.
predicted it.
Great.
If you can think of what a bad French film would look like, this is it.
Yeah, She Is
Used to be
Conan.
the type
Conan.
of stuff that we'd watch at late night on Skinamax. That's the quality of it.
Yeah, it does
Bad
look like that. It
drive-in
looks
movie.
so bad.
Yeah.
That's a
Oh, yeah,
screenshot.
when you
This
only
is
get
a
to see the
screenshot
top-
of it.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Look at the sparkly eye makeup. This is bad.
Yeah.
It's so bad.
That
So,
was
like,
the
are they
rage
in
in the 6th century.
Are they in a
That's perfect.
car? Like, was that like a backseat of a car or something?
Yeah.
From a short synopsis at Altered Innocence, and in a barbaric fantasy sci-fi trip through time, sword and sorcery mythology is bent, fractured, and gender swapped by master visionary Bertrand Mandico and his third feature epic. In his third feature epic, 6 Lives, 6 Eras, and 6 Deaths mark Conan's poetic journey through different incarnations and lesbian loves,
I'm so entertained.
guiding Conan through her many epic lives is Alina Lauenson, amateur. Let's the corpse day. I've never heard of those movies. As Rainer,
French.
a Cerberus of many otherworldly dimensions, whose paparazzi camera sees all. Oh God!
God.
I'm kind of sad
Dude,
that we
this is
used
like
the
a bad
F bomb now.
porno script.
You wasted your F-bomb on.
Oh,
Yeah,
this
I know.
this
It would be
makes
much
some
better for this.
this makes some porno movies look like high art.
Yeah, dude, this is.
Oh
Telling you,
gosh!
this is great. I saw watched the trailer to this and just shook my head and laughed.
This is like when porno went straight to video, but the stories
Yeah.
would just disappear. Like, yeah, this is.
Yep, you got it.
Oh, so a
My
little bit of
God.
drama that's come out also this week
Yeah.
is Epstein's List,
Whoops.
which, by the way, that's my new band name. That way we get plenty of hits. Epstein's List.
Yeah.
James Gunn defends himself over accusations of flying on the infamous Epstein plane, Lolita Express, as disturbing past comes back to haunt him. So here's James Gunn defending himself. Following his takeover of DC Studios, James Gunn has faced numerous instances of criticism and backlash. Things have now escalated to a new level, with James Gunn facing accusations of allegedly visiting Jeffrey Epstein's island. Ooh. Since flight logs for those who traveled on Epstein's private plane, the Lolita Express, have surfaced, the controversy surrounding him has gained new attention in the media. According to one social media user, Gunn was one of the passengers on Epstein's plane.
But how many times did he go? Is it like Bill's 50 times to the island?
Oh, look, no one can beat
No,
Bill's.
Nobody can beat
addiction.
Bill's record. He's got it.
No, I mean, he's got the record. He was the best customer. Was that before or after you went to Epstein's island? He asked Gunn on Twitter. Gunn responded with the following to clarify the situation. Gunn said, some fan
distributing
online lies without bothering to check out if they're true or not. Here's the flight log. Spoiler, I'm not on it. He's like, I'm not here. I'm not on the log. Yeah.
Sure.
Mary Matthews just told me a story about how a monkey jerked off to completion on a kid on the set of Max Keeble's Big Move. Oh God. This is the first time that Gunn's past has come to haunt him. In response to Gunn's public criticism of Donald Trump in July of 2018, commentator Mike Cernovich drew attention to controversial jokes about pedophilia and the Holocaust that Gunn posted on social media between 2008 and 2012. In the aftermath of tweets, Disney fired, then rehired Gunn as director of the upcoming Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 film.
You think they really, though, they went through and rehired him because Gunn got hired by Warner Brothers?
Yep.
Between time, and they
Yep.
wait a minute, we still want you to work for us too. Yeah.
Well, I got to tell you something. I followed Gunn way back when he was a nobody. He had a blog. This is back before Twitter and all that shit. And my roommate and I, we just followed everything he wrote because we loved his writing. This is back in the early 2000s, like right around the Scooby-Doo days. And he is also from here in Missouri. And we thought it was really cool because, you know, he goes to all the places we do, which includes Six Flags right outside St. Louis. So he and his brother, the one that's the actor, went there one day and he blogged about this. And I was so troubled by this blog that I was like, this guy's going to get in trouble one day trying to be edgy with his humor. This his brother was hemming and hawing on a ride. He didn't want to go on the ride. He was getting nervous because it had a big drop on it. It was a water ride at Six Flags. And he wrote about how this 12-year-old girl behind them called him a pussy. It says, hurry up, dude. Everybody's waiting, you pussy. And what he wrote in this blog was, I could hardly wait till she turns 18 so I could fuck her.
Wow.
Wow.
And I read that as a dad of a little girl, and that bugged the shit out of me.
Yeah. Oh.
James Gunn.
I take a bathroom break, come back, and just what the hell?
That'll teach you. Don't leave.
Here's one of the tweets that got him.
Just keep a cup like this. You never have to go.
The best thing about being raped is when you are done being raped, it's like, whew, this feels great not being raped.
God,
That's
man,
not even funny. There's nothing funny
It's
about it.
not.
No.
He's trying to be edgy. It's not about funny. It's being edgy. And he's always trying to get attention. And that's my
I like
problem.
when little boys touch me in my silly place.
God, he's such
that sounds more like a confession, not a joke.
Yeah.
Where's the wood chip?
Weird.
You know, here's what I'm thinking. Are you guys familiar with the Cat Williams interview that just went?
Yeah.
Yes.
Went viral, right?
Yeah.
He implements P. Diddy in a lot of stuff. Right? Yeah.
Implicates.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he even talked about T.D. Jakes, that fake preacher, going to these parties. Now, we all know that he went to those parties. He's gotten criticism. We in the Christian world have put a lot of criticism on T.D. Jakes over the years. But what you don't know is that he's got two different people, maybe three, young men that have come out claiming that he groomed them and sexually assaulted them or essayed them. I know we'll get struck for saying sexually assaulted. But so he is facing, he's in a lot of trouble. Like he's, and obviously he's trying to build up his little cult of people around him. But I mean, it's coming out like the truth about Hollywood is coming out. And it's, I think James Gunn just seems like the kind of filthy individual that would be. Yeah. I mean, how do you get fired for this stuff and then get rehired? Unless he also has dirt on some people. Right? And I mean, I don't want to be a conspiracy theorist.
A lot of the stuff that Gunn said too, these tweets that they're reaching back on, was back when there was a whole different sensibility about humor and social interaction in general.
Yeah, it was over a decade ago.
But by the way, thank you, Whiskey. Allegedly,
yeah, because
just to make it clear,
allegedly,
so we don't get sued.
Here's Multiverse Dog says, what I don't get is why would Assume Gunn's name even be associated with Epstein? Epstein was catering to the like the elite of the elite. And I'm sorry, but Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 isn't going to put you on that list. And then Spice God says, plus Gunn was still making Scooby-Doo films in Epstein's era.
There you go. Yep.
So it's likely he might.
Somebody just wants to get him in trouble. That's all.
Yeah,
cause some crap. Yeah,
and he might be a dirtbag. But there's no You know what? This old news. That was January 5th. We read about that a week ago on another website. I do want to show you guys this. Check this out.
Uh-huh.
Fundiverse.com is live.
That's a goofy name.
It is a goofy name. They also offer a 3% platform fee.
It's got diverse in the title.
Yeah.
It does have diverse in the title.
Fun, diverse. Yeah.
Fun, diverse.
It's Fundiverse. You can fund
food.
Basically
Nice.
anything over there.
You can fund
outside of
food.
comics and games.
Buy me lunch, guys.
You can still fund your comics and games over there if you want.
Fashion,
But,
food.
but I do prefer that you stick to Fund My Comic.
Yeah.
I
Fund
do
My
prefer
Comic doesn't offer food. You see food there? No.
No.
Food. No help.
But I will be offering food
Nice.
over here. This is probably where I will fund the Crack-A-Boom coffee.
It's over at Fun Diverse.
It will probably be over there, yeah.
Hmm.
So we're going to be onboarding new people over here. If you have a campaign that falls into something other than comics, and you might want to try this out. For the first 25 campaigns that come on, we're going to lower your platform fee to 1%.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, this is your company.
This is my company.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. I was
Randy's over there roasting me. He has no idea I own this.
Yeah. No, but the thing of food to me is funny. I'm sorry, Luke, but it's like
Still
Fund
has
My Food.
diverse in the title, though.
It does have
Yeah.
Military rations. Or
But I don't know.
ration packs.
That's for like what? Like, or I mean, so I can get this idea out of my head. Food is for what? To make like cookbooks to
Anything
you wanna
food
make a
related.
restaurant.
Anything food related.
Okay. Okay.
Anything
So
food related.
it's not like buy me lunch.
Emergency, you know
Okay.
those military rations. You can sell those in there.
Gotcha.
Go.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'd had a lot of
Fun diverse.
requests. I'd had a lot of requests
Mhm.
to open up funding for other types of projects outside of comics and games.
Oh, I see.
We tried doing music that didn't. It stuck out like a sore thumb. Like a sore thumb. Dear
Thumb.
God, if I could only talk today, right?
I prefer Thrum.
Thrum is better.
Yeah. So, and we had a lot of people who want to do film and video and stuff like that. And they're like, well, Fund My Comic. It's so, it's so specific. And yeah, and we want to keep the market for comics and games over there. But we came up with a sister site, has all the same great tools. As you can see, it's just a rebranded Fund My Comic is what it is.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
So why did you put diverse in it, Lou?
Yeah.
Well, why not? Our diversity is our strength. I can't even say that laughing. No, it's like universe, but fundiverse.
Fundiverse, yeah.
That's why we highlight fund.
I know, but
Yeah.
every one of us needs to really focus on this and start talking shit about it. Going, why did they put diverse in it?
Yeah.
So that the wokies will want to use it.
So now when he has to instruct
It's a honey
people,
trap, yeah.
when he has
You
to
watch.
instruct,
There's going to be some that do it.
when he has to instruct people how to use the site, he'll send them to the Fundiversity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Fundiversity, yeah.
The Fundiversity, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. That's what my help section will be is Fundiversity.
Yeah, the Fundiversity, and you get like Fundiversity credit.
No charge.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So as you can see, we don't have anybody up there yet because I just launched the site this week. Actually, we just got all the paperwork in order with the state of Indiana and with the IRS, and then with Stripe, so that we can take payments for this site.
Cool.
So,
I'm gonna use it. I'll set
Moving
it up.
along.
Because I'm not
Wokiverse.
using anybody else anymore. I'm done.
Wonkyverse.
Wokiverse.
Wokiverse.
I was.
Fundiverse. Wow.
Our diversity is actually fun.
There we are.
So we can sell Pedro bathwater on there. Okay.
Exactly. Ooh.
There you are.
Narwhal
I
can
have-
sell his bread here if he wants to. Yes. But there's so many people that want to crowdfund in peace with the same kind of pillars that we have. That Fund My Comic. though great for, comic books. And we've had so much success there. Again, I mean, let me just show off what we've been able to pull off in the last, in not even a year yet. March will be a year. So if I go to the dashboard here, we have raised, and here's what I don't like it when people want to talk about business. And when you ask, okay, well, let's talk numbers. Well, I don't want to share my numbers. Well, then you're not making money. Because if you don't want to share your numbers, you're not doing well, right?
Yep.
So let's share numbers here because we're doing well. We have raised campaigns completed. Okay. These are campaigns that have now completed and are closed. We've raised $366,183.29. Currently running, we are raising right now, campaigns that are active right now, $146,337. That's what we've run. So if you add those two totals together, you're looking at some insane amount of money that we've seen come through the site in less than a year. In fact, so much it's actually affected our tax bracket a little bit over here at Fund My Comic and Luke Stone Studios. And I'm not going to lie, I'm freaking out about it just a little bit because I did not expect that we would be at this point this quickly. But it's been so successful. It's so successful that we decided to go ahead and launch Fundiverse platform a little early. Wasn't planning on doing that until the middle or end of the year.
Yeah, it's a surprise to me.
One of these days, Luke.
And someone's asking, will Fundiverse be at Indie Comic Con in March? Yes, it will. Well, I think it's February, the Indie Comic Con that I'm going to. Oh no, wait, Indie in Indianapolis, right? Is that what you're talking about?
I think it's Indie as an independent. Which Comic Con are you talking about, Auntie?
Yeah, because when you say INDY, I think of Indianapolis.
Yeah.
When you say INDIE, I think of independent. So yeah, to which one?
Which one?
For a reply now.
Yep.
Yeah. So we'll figure it out. Indianapolis.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
I haven't set up there. I haven't got a booth there yet, but I might go ahead and sign up and get a booth and have Fundiverse and Fund My Comic in there as well, so that we can start talking about those two platforms for people.
Some person hail.
Some person welcome. It's nice to have some person here today. But yeah, so that went live, guys. That's and it's all universe themed and all that good stuff.
Fundiverse theme.
At this rate, you're going to you have your own private jet and be one of those bigwigs.
Oh man, that'd be nice.
Express, though.
That'd be nice. And I don't really want to jet. Here's what I want. I want to be able, and guys, this is not like me virtue signaling at all here. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I watched a video, it was around Christmas time, and I saw this commercial for one of the smaller children's hospitals that deal with kids with physical ailments, and they do a lot of rehabilitation for kids that are, dealing with MS and stuff like that, and they've got physical issues they need rehabilitation for. I looked at Beth and I said, man, I just wish that I had all kinds of money that I could just go and buy them anything they needed to help these kids get better. Right. Because having gone through what I went through, relearn how to walk and all those kind of things, that's what I really want. So I know it sounds like, some like shyster, virtue, like, oh, I'm moral, whatever. But no, guys, that really is my desire. If this stuff does well, that's really what I want out of it. I just want to be able to like go into one of those places, say, what do you need? Well, let's buy it.
Pay it forward, essentially.
Yes. I mean, those places, people like that help me get back on my feet, literally, figuratively, and literally. I just want to help out,
There's nothing wrong with sorry, there's nothing wrong with a philanthropist as long as you're not an activist. You're good.
Yeah.
I mean, we all have lofty dreams. I want to buy my country.
Well, there you go.
With all the people in it.
All right. So I also want to bring up something today. So I'm going to rearrange our screen here a little bit. I'm going to put us up here at the top so we can go across like that. So, Gary, I don't know if you're familiar with this, but we're going to ask people to flip you the bird today.
Yeah.
It won't be the first time.
Well, here's what we mean by flipping the bird. Here, I'll show you what this. Whenever someone backs a project or gives a super chat or does anything like that, they throw money on it or bacon wrap it, so to speak.
Yeah.
We say they're flipping the bird. They're flipping us the bird, and we make the bird dance. And I've got some other topics for us to talk about here a little bit, but I do want to hit on this now while we've got a decent crowd here watching. So you made it. You made a comic book. You made.
Well, I want to point out that I just sent you the page I'm working on right now. If you want to pull it up, you want to whip it out.
Whip it out.
Let's do that later because it takes me a second to get to all the screens. Like I would have to go to the screen that's shared in order to whip that out. And let me whip that out here in a minute. Whip it out when the time is right.
It's so big it takes 2 cameras.
Yeah, 2 cameras, dude.
Where's the beef?
Well,
I've got that on my channel too.
We're going to show you where the beef is at.
That is not a joke. That is a natural fact.
All right. So Vindicated Inc. by Gary Kissel. So Gary, what was the driving factor behind doing this comic book? What's the purpose?
Okay, your purpose? Just to explain something very simple, I work for Dale Dye, the guy behind Saving Private Ryan, Band of Brothers, all that shit. I work in the film industry as well as the comic industry, and I work primarily on veteran stuff, military stuff, because it's what I love doing. I'm a veteran, and I love and started in 2006. That's when I went to work for Dale Dye. That I took an oath with myself that I'm going to spend the rest of my time on this planet devoted to military veteran issues. Even if it's not a true story, I'm going to bring the issues into the stories and talk about them. And that's at the heart of this book, is dealing with, the VA, dealing with PTSD, dealing with, because I was diagnosed with PTSD about 15 years ago. And it's not as bad as people think it is, but it's devastating and frustrating if you don't know how to deal with it. And there's things out there to help these guys. And I wanted to write about it. And in fact, the first person, when I came up with this story in 2012 is when I came up with the story. I immediately called Jeff Searcy at Wounded Warrior Project because he's a close friend of mine. And I told him the entire story that came into my head. And he says, you got to do this book. It's important. And I went, I hope so. And it deals really directly, while at the same time it's entertaining. Because this is the problem I have with people who are overly didactic, is they focus on the issues and their points rather than focusing on entertaining the audience. And who wants to read a boring sermon? You want to tell a story that's exciting, and you'll see by the artwork that there's violence in this. I'm realistic and graphic, not overly graphic, but I'm very realistic in what I do. That cover is one of my favorite covers, but here's some of the sequential art you're just going to. It looks like a little movie, and I wanted to make a movie. That was originally my first plan because I went to film school, but I forget all the time that I don't like people. So I end up just doing comics instead, because that way I don't have to work with anyone but myself. And, but I get a lot of compliments. Like on this page in particular, I get a lot of compliments on how I have him breaching this building. On top of that, you see him come down. I'm establishing he's right-handed as he drops down into this bathroom, abandoned bathroom. And immediately on the next page, though, you see him go left hand. This is something that military people pick up because my military stuff's accurate. He did a shoulder shift. He's now firing left-handed because he's using a wall to his right for cover. And of course, he gets into a situation, and my platoon sergeant said something to me one day, and it's in the comic book coming up, where if you ever find yourself in a bad situation where you're, trapped, go grenade bowling. He actually used that phrase, and so I put it in the book. And he kills these guys.
Bowling. I love your illustrations. They
Thanks.
have a grittiness to them.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
I just I like being as realistic as possible.
Hang on, we got the bird. It's in the comments.
We got a bird. Here we go. $45 backers. Thank you for flipping him the bird. Thank you.
What's
that? Is
Levi?
amazing. Thank you, Levi Skeen. Very nice.
And
very
just to let you
nice.
know, I just created a campaign over on Fundiverse.
Fundiverse. I'm never going to hear the end of that.
Nope.
No, not for me. But I just
tell me about this.
started my campaign over there for Vindicated.
Tell me about this $2,500. This $2,500.
I don't think anybody will ever do it, but I just threw it in there. It's just got everything. You get the Macat statue, and the statue is that image you saw up there of the comic book cover, where he's got the battle damage MTAC mask. He uses real gear. I have him using real gear in the book. I try to be as realistic as possible. There's certain things I have to fudge because, in reality, he would be using 3 different prosthetic legs for everything he does. I'm not going to do that. It's too time consuming, and it takes away from the story. Yeah. So I just kind of ask people, just go along with the story. That's okay. Yeah. It all turns out okay. He's a good guy. But he does things that are horrifying, like where he's heating up that knife. He's threatening to torture this guy because this guy is a kitty diddler that is with this gang, and he's captured him, and he found out information about this gang, and he's like, I want to know more information, and I'm going to do what I have to get it from you. And what this guy knows that our hero doesn't know is that they're about to send some mercs in there. The biker gang is. They hired mercs. And this is the big thing that he keeps dealing with. That it's the same thing they talked about with Batman Begins, or was it? No, it was the second film, Escalation. Because as soon as you do something, there's going to be a response to it. So that's what these guys are. They're mercs that were hired specifically to deal with him. And of course, he's going to take these guys out, no matter how good they are. He does get shot there, but he's shot in the prosthetic leg, which is going to pop up later to cause him a problem with the cops because a chunk of his leg ends up in the door frame. And it's all inspired by that story, 1989, that news article. 1989, Army Rangers took on a gang in Seattle. And it was a shootout, and they won. And oddly, none of them were arrested. It's a weird story. It's a weird story. And I was in a debate with a friend of mine saying, how could the Punisher and Batman exist in the real world? I said, well, the way they're depicted in the films, no matter how realistic they try to be, Chris Nolan and all that shit to Punisher films, they're wrong because they would get caught. They would absolutely be busted. And I said, you would need someone that was a tier 1 operator. These are guys that are so well trained that they can go into other countries and live off the land, live off of the system, kill for whatever they need. And they never create paper trails so they can be tracked or found. I'm not saying that they're perfect. They do screw up every once in a while and things get hairy. But in this situation, I'm trying to explain, that's the kind of person you need to become a Batman or a Punisher. And what this guy is he's frustrated because he got stuck in the med board process, which is a nightmare for veterans. And I've had my own personal experience with it.
Can you explain what that is? What's the med board?
The med board process is when you have an injury in the military, Doesn't matter whether it's psychological or physical. If you have an injury, it has to be reported. It's got to go through a process where you meet a bunch of doctors, and those doctors are the ones that are going to determine whether you keep your job in the military, have to be medically discharged or retired. It's something that took like days to weeks when it originally started. Now takes up to 2 years, and your career in life is on hold during that period, and it's exhausting. It's stressful for these guys because they don't know what to do. Am I going to continue in the military? What's going to happen to me? And and the VA is a big problem, because if you want to know how socialized medicine works, just look at the VA, because the VA is nothing more than socialized medicine for the military. It's all it is. And it doesn't function right because of the wait periods. And this is why you have such a high rate of soldiers, hurting themselves permanently, because they get stuck in this process. And it's part of the thing I want to talk about in this book, but I want to talk about it in still an interesting way. I'm not going to just sit there and once again stand at the pulpit and bang my hand. There are things in there that there's even comedy in it, because Bill, who's based on my own grandfather, who suffered from shell shock, as they called it, he shook till the day he died from his combat in World War I. And so I based the character Bill on him. He's his weapons guy. And he tells him, after they played a game of basketball, he asks him, like, how do you do it, John? The main character's name is John. How do you do it? How do you keep it at bay? How do you, I shake all the time. And it's the only time it seems to go away is when I'm focused on something. All of a sudden the shaking stops, which is what my grandfather did. He would carve, cut leather, because he was a leather cutter for Buster Brown shoes. And that was the only times he stopped shaking. And so we have Bill going through that, and he asks him, how do you do it? How do you keep it at bay? And he's talking about PTSD. And he says, I keep it at bay by creating all new bad memories constantly, so it never gets its hooks into me. And it's funny when he says it to him, the way he says it to him, but there's truth to it, because this is how a lot of the guys out there today are fighting their PTSDs. They just keep going back into the theater and fighting. And some people call them war junkies. But the fact is, you've got guys over there that are doing up to 12 deployments. It's insane. It's insane. And so we talk about all of this in the book. What's that?
So it's easier to fight than it is to deal with.
Yeah.
Deal with the trauma.
And that's what John says in the book. He says, fighting keeps it at bay by constantly doing stuff. So he's always going off killing people and bad guys, taking out tangos.
Great work on these buildings back here. This is nice.
Thank you.
I like the high contrast shading that you add in there. It's very nice.
It's because I was so impacted by guys like Al Williamson, Frank Miller, and
we got another bird
back in the 80s. Oh, yay!
Well, just back. Just back. Here we go.
Yeah, we got a bird flipping.
It's 46 backers this morning. All right.
Very cool.
All right. Yeah, I would love to get a couple more backers on this one.
So basically, the story is about John, who is going on a mission with Afghani Special Forces. And there's an ambush. And one of the team of the Afghani Special Forces that he doesn't know, because the main guy, Captain Jabari, is somebody he personally trained, and he trusts him implicitly. But one of his XO has part of the ambush, and he sets off an IED with a mobile phone, and Captain Jabari catches him doing it and kills him, but it's too late. He's already pushed the button. Jabari tries to warn him, but it's too late, and it's a very dramatic moment in the book. I think it's definitely available. If you go to the page there, I have 2 chapters available for you to read. People can actually look at it, chapter 1 and chapter 3, because they don't give too much away to the story. Right down a little further. That's Richard Bonk, by the way. He's going to be drawing one chapter. There they are. Vindicated, chapter 1, God judges his heroes by their scars. And chapter 3, a leg to stand on. Yes, I'm being verbally ironic with the name. Because he's learning to work with his leg in that chapter. And the whole thing is this, that he goes through this process of losing his leg in the explosion, learns to walk, then run, and he's ready to go back. He's one of those guys that says, I'm still combat fit. I'm combat ready. I'm ready to go. Let's go. And you find out that he's red flagged for post-traumatic stress disorder. And he gets put into the med board process for it. And he's frustrated by this. And he doesn't understand why they won't just send him back because he's ready. And in the process of his frustration, he begins to go taking it out on the criminals of the city, beating them up, shit like that. And but in the process of doing this, he ends up having an impact on society itself. People start talking about it. It's almost like that scene in Boondock Saints where, in real life, they'd be covering it. Like, who is this? Is it one person doing this? But at the same time that this is going on, lead detective Frank Tedesco, he's half Italian, half American Indian, and he's dealing with his personal problems. He's based on a real buddy of mine, Shane Moore. Shane is a very close friend of mine, a best-selling author. He's American Indian and white, and he has dealt with racism from both sides. And so I have the character dealing with that. In fact, when he goes to the reservation up there in Washington to return a rifle, some of the res cops call him an apple within earshot of him, which means red on the outside, white on the inside. And it's a racial slur.
I've never heard that.
He's
just like Oreo cookie. Yeah, I've heard that too.
Yeah,
we're learning things this morning on our bacon, guys.
I deal with so many different things. The cops are most of the cops are good guys, but there is a crooked SWAT commander, and he is a major villain in the story. Not the villain, but he's a major villain. And he has a small members of his team who are in on it too. They're corrupt, crooked. And we don't see really what happens with them in book 1. This is 3 books. Each book is 155 pages. That's a lot of comic art. That's a lot of work. It takes me between 8 to 14 hours to do a single page of comic art. Often closer to 14. And so that's why, to wrap this book up, I've got 90 pages done, and I've got to do the rest of the book. Plus 18 to 20 pages are going to be done by Richard for his chapter. It's a flashback scene, so it doesn't have to match my artwork. And that's why I'm doing it, because Richard and I are always looking for reasons to work together, because we like working together. We've been working together since, almost 15 years of friendship. And in fact, play the trailer.
Yeah, let's go and take a look at your trailer here.
Meet the Seattle Vigilante. Like so many comic heroes, this warrior hides his identity. But his identity isn't the only secret he has to keep. After grievous wounds received during combat, Tier 1 operator John Russell begins to recover and comes to terms with his new reality of being an amputee. And as he learns how to use his new prosthetic limb, he finds himself caught up in the bureaucratic red tape that too many wounded veterans experience, the exhausting medboard process. Out of sheer frustration, John takes it out on the criminal scum of the city. But when reality kicks in, John realizes he started something that's having an impact on the greater world around him, and thus has to reevaluate his motives. And moreover, just how far is John willing to go to finish this war he's declared against the criminals in Seattle? And will he even survive? From the creator of IDW's award-winning graphic novel Code Word Geronimo comes a new story about a different kind of warrior, Vindicated Inc., the first of its kind disabled veteran action hero comic. The Vindicated Inc. graphic novel crowdfunding campaign on fundmycomic.com is provided in the description of this video. We hope you become a contributor. Please share this link. Thank you.
Who did your voiceover?
That's Tom, my buddy from Midnight's Edge. Originally, Dale Dye was going to do it, But he got sick and lost his voice. And in a panic, I'm like, I've got to have this trailer done. Tom jumps up and goes, "Hey, I'll do it." I'm like,
do it.
I ask so much. I try not to ask too much of Tom because he's such a good friend of mine. But he jumped in there, man. Help me.
All right, I want to
Now
talk
I gotta
about
do a new one.
We'll get back into your book again here in a minute. I want to hopefully get a little more support on that today. But last week there was a couple of surveys put out by Statistical Zero, and the outcomes I feel are necessary to talk about. So I mean, over the course of the last week. So last week we had Ethan Van Sciver. In 2 weeks, we will have Eric July here on the channel talking about what he's doing. But right now, if you're aware of what's going on in X, there are beefs galore within the independent comic book sphere, and drama streams and receipts being flown out and all kinds of stuff, and tons of infighting. And it's funny that all of that comes out after these two surveys kind of hit. The first question that was brought up is, do you see yourself not buying many more comic crowdfundings in 2024? 30% said that they loved backing. The answer was very, very few. 11% said I'm done. 9% had another option on that. But 50% of the audience, which was 265 votes, said that they were planned on backing fewer campaigns in 2024. The second survey that came out is, do you think 2024 will be better for comics? And the result of that was no, it will not. 46% said that. And then on Fund My Comic, I'll have to find that one real quick. There was a survey. Can you grab that for me, Whiskey?
Which survey?
The one about the infighting, the fighting. Does it? Because that survey was also very telling. So when it comes to crowdfunding this year, it looks like at least this portion of the audience is saying that they are limiting their support. How do you guys think that's going to impact?
It's going to be a huge impact.
I think you can't never tell. You're not going to guesstimate what you're going to invest in, more or less, unless you're economically broke. You know, it's all going to depend upon the project and how many good ones are out there.
Mm-hmm.
You might think you're not going to spend a whole lot more, but you know, you might end up spending twice as much depending upon the projects that are out there.
Yeah, that's true. As things get more depressing sometimes, and because things, are getting more depressing, some people spend more on entertainment just to get out of that funk, right?
Exactly. Yes.
And was that surveys in the chat there, Luke?
Yeah, it's not opening.
It's not?
No, so I have to go find it. Say something interesting so I can do my work. Do this.
I'll get it. I'll get it.
Yeah, the way I see it is,
got to turn on.
I mean, whoever loves comics is going to still be making comics. If you're only looking for like financial remuneration, then yeah, you might find something else to do, and that might be a good thing. You know what I mean? Because the tough times make better artists and make better businessmen. So I don't know. I'm not phased. I'm just gonna keep on working. I don't know if I'm making any sense, but yeah, like we're in an election year in America, so people have a lot of things on their minds. They might not put that much money in entertainment. The situation with the economy is not that good. So I think it's natural that people might not spend as much on entertainment, but what would that says to us? What are we going to do about it? You know, I'm not going to stop.
So, Whiskey, you did
Mm-hmm.
so there's this infighting going on. 53% of the votes of 925 votes. It's
Yeah.
quite a bit, almost 1,000 people come out to vote on this, and they said stop infighting. Stop.
Yeah.
So, you know, we talk a lot about market share. We look at corporate comics and we look at independent comics, and we see that there is some things, some disruption within corporate comics and direct market. And they're going to have to try to figure out their thing, right? Because if we're going to use the direct market, we need Marvel and DC to be healthy. But we're seeing a lot of the direct market leaving, or a lot of the corporate publishers leaving the direct market and going to crowdfunding to connect with an audience or their audience, right? So we see them making changes and adjustments. And I think we're seeing a majority of the people in our atmosphere say, number one, I don't like the fighting. I think that when you guys are picking like when you fight, it makes us feel like we have to pick sides. And I don't want to be the kids that get fought over in the divorce. You know, I don't want to be that. And we see people are already saying that they're going to be backing fewer books. They're going to be supporting fewer books. We are going into an election year, guys.
Yep.
I don't know if you remember 4 years ago how well things went during that election year.
And that's a natural fact.
Well, in air quotes, yeah.
Yeah, how well a sarcasm, you know what I'm saying? It was. Go ahead.
No, it's starting to get really bad too with the infighting. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt there. Just kind of blurted it out.
Yeah, it really is getting a lot. Tree Goblin, welcome, Tree Goblin. I'm sure there's less books. Books. I think there's going to be less books out there.
So I made this poll because I saw a lot of the. It was just fun. It was supposed to be. It's not really a fun situation, but it was supposed to just be an amusing post or whatever, just to a couple of people that I follow. I didn't expect it to get 35,000 views and or Ethan to retweet it or whatever, right? But I made the poll because I just saw fans fighting each other, and the result is that you're gonna burn all these bridges, and these people are attacking each other and calling each other names, and it's just it's ridiculous. It's not good for comics. It's not good for anybody, and it just sucks.
I'm all for friendly competition. I really am. I think a Marvel versus DC kind of thing is good for the market, but I don't see that happening here. It's almost it's not. The fighting is, it's getting stupid. It's
personal,
it gets real personal. Hours long streams about all of this, and then there's battle on other fronts, and it's just it gets exhausting. And I think the fan base is exhausted by a few things.
It's becoming the top two again. It's this is something I talked about the other day on with you when you came on our show, is that they're turning Ethan Van Sciver and Eric July into the top two. Mm-hmm. And it's really weird. It's DC versus Marvel now. But what I don't like about it is it creates a shadow that hurts other indie creators. Because I don't hold anything against Eric and Ethan, because I love the guys. I love what they're doing. And Eric works directly with Chuck Dixon, who's a close friend of mine. But at the same time, there are other creations out there that aren't getting any attention or any love, because everybody's hyper-focused on Ethan and Eric.
Well, their business models are completely different. What they do is completely different. So when Ethan was on, we really got the sense of his love for comic books, like I mean, deep love for just making.
Yeah, the medium.
Yeah, just the making of the comic book. I mean, now I'm speculating. I mean, I know that Eric loves comic books, right?
That's
But
obvious.
I'm going to, if I were to guess from my years of following him, that what we're going to hear a lot from him is what's really going to come out is his love of business and entrepreneurial, the entrepreneurial spirit is going to come out with this guy, right? That's what I think is going to happen. And that's what we're going to see, which we need. We need more business-minded individuals. I mean, you've got one guy that focuses on the quality, but takes a long time. Then you've got another guy who focuses on
delivery, customer
delivery and customer service. And I think, look, I'm a lover of all comics. I think there is a place for the stuff that is every page is a masterwork. And I also think that there's, a place for the quicker produced, more entertainment, just the cheap, fast entertainment, which is what you get from manga, right? So I think there is a market for both, because they are two different business models. So I don't understand why the battling needs to happen. It does feel a little bit petty, but you're absolutely right with that whole thing, Whiskey, is that it affects the fans. And you're right, Gary, that what it does, it takes attention from people that are putting out really good stuff. And when you're out there streaming for hours about the fight and you're not out there, I mean, they could, we talked about platform and the use of platform. There are fewer and fewer people that have a platform or willing to share the platform to bring a spotlight to really good stuff that's being made out there. And people are now distracted by the fight instead of looking at, the books like Vindicated or the Mythicals, or, one of the, we've got like, I think 80 different campaigns that are currently live and funding on Fund My Comic. One of those that are out there that you could easily go there and support. And many of those are shipping right away. I mean, I think it puts a strain on an already strained market in an even more strained economy.
Absolutely. And a lot of this stuff is going like just pure tribalism, right? Like, you could easily be like an indie creator, and then you side with Eric, or you side with EVS, or you side with whoever, and you're like, you make a statement about it, or you happen to follow somebody. Well, like, what happens when a customer, right, goes through and he's supporting the other side? You suddenly lose a customer, right? You're down like 10 copies of the book. It's not good for business for like the small guys, and it gives ammunition to all of the detractors on the opposite side of the aisle, like, who have been trying to find ammunition to kill all of these things really for the longest time.
Yeah.
Right. So quality and customer service. I mean, you got Hojo saying comics is a customer service based industry. The readers are everything. I agree. And some people haven't found the balance of quality and customer service. Here's what is complex for small publishers. And I was on a stream yesterday morning, and I was talking with this guy named George, and he kind of spelled out, here's how you make money. And so I asked the question, well, if that's how you make money, how much money are you making doing that? And he didn't want to give numbers. I mean, really, that's what we're always trying to do, is we're trying to give numbers, right? So that we can honestly and legitimately talk about what's going to be good for our industry. And what I think is the biggest problem is when we spell out what needs to be done. It's really easy to backseat drive, but it's very difficult to be a 1 or 2 man show, or a small press publisher, or something that, or an independent creator that's self-publishing, to do all of the things that we need. So when you're drawing, you're not promoting. When you're promoting, you are not drawing. When you're fulfilling, you're not doing either one of those things. People say, well, you need to be seen on the streams. You need to be in front of people. But how can you do that if you're working, right? It gets very.
This is the problem I'm running into, dude.
Right.
Totally.
Exactly. We all tend to run into that problem. So the argument becomes, well, how can I do it all? And then you start to try to figure out what things can I do that have the greatest return on investment. You know, where am I going to see the best income, the best outcome for the work that I'm doing? And I think we all have to try to figure that out. That's why so many creators fall into I need to get in diamond, because that seems to be the best and only way to make comic books. It seems to be the only way we've got it. But I think there's other options. Welcome, Pixel.
Hey, good morning, guys.
What's up, Pixel?
Oop, I just back vindicated.
Oh,
Somebody else just flipped you the bird.
Success.
Amen.
Nice.
See that bird dance?
Here's where we are.
Sitting
Go
at
ahead.
47 backers now.
There you go.
So, basically, all we need right now is to reach 6,000, and I'm going to keep it open on the storefront, and that is just to complete the book. The printing can be handled later once the book is finished. So I know the whole amount says 9,000, but that's for the printing too. We don't even have a distribution idea yet. I'm just focused on getting the book done for people to be able to, who backed it, to get their copies.
Yeah, exactly. Distribution, especially at this level, can be very complicated. We're finding out that distribution is happening a lot through kind of these online direct markets to the fans. Slacker 23 says, your independence, and you got to promote, but you're drawing. How are you going to make money if no one knows you? Exactly. You're running into that problem all the time. I stream one time a week. Other people ask me to be on their streams. I have to be very, very limited, very selective about what I do these days, because drawing people's books, drawing my own books, working with Arrow Comics, the things that we're going to be doing, Fund My Comic, now Fundiverse, and Iron Age Distribution. None of that stuff is autopilot. Okay, none of that stuff is autopilot. It requires attention, all of it. And I want to do it all.
Full-time job.
Yeah, but it's necessary, right? Because
about 3 full-time jobs, actually.
Yeah, well, I mean, the question is like, well, I've got to be able to pay the bills, so I have to draw for other people. I need to create my own stuff because I'm a creator, and that's what I want to do. So I have to do the hybrid stuff. I need the power of the Arrow Publishing. I need that to be strong, because if it's not strong, I'm not strong. We need distribution, so we need Fund My Comic to be strong, right? We need that to be doing something. We need Iron Age Distribution to be doing something and being strong, because it's a need. It's what we all have. So not only do I want to, but I'm compelled to do those things. But it requires a lot of work. And so you have to limit how much time you spend sitting in a chair on a stream. You really do. But at the same time, you have to find a way to get out there, and on those streams, you have to stay in front of people. So how do you do that? How do you balance that? Does anybody have any ideas?
Draw
looking
during
for
the
some-
stream.
None.
Scheduling, I guess.
Draws,
Scheduling.
Yep.
We've started
Draw-
this thing. We're doing bacon bits. That seems to be helping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of which, man, like I need some logos, man. We got the ball rolling, have the particle system gone. I need to do some Arrow videos, baby.
All right. Well, we uploaded a lot of stuff already.
Google
Yeah,
Drive.
I got the covers, but I need the logo because I'm making a.
They're there.
particle edition
They're
thing.
there. I put them there yesterday.
They're in the folders.
And if they're not good enough, let me know. I'll get them there.
Yeah, let me check.
You can only
Alright.
really balance it with the team, and that's true.
Yeah.
Levi says he's been digging those shorts. Yeah, and you know what? So here's where AI comes in handy. You'll notice that we try to keep the stream now under 3 hours because we plug in a link and
Got it.
AI clips it, and then we can go in and edit. I tell the AI, look for these buzzwords, look for these words, because I'll remember parts of the conversation, and it will find the clips and bring them up. And it doesn't do a great job, but it does a quick job. So it turns something that would take hours of editing into minutes of editing, and then it schedules the post as well. So there is, when we talk about AI, there is use for AI. There is use for it. Oh, just back the digital version. Someone's flipping the bird.
That's
Look at that,
what I like to
48
see, man.
backers. Can we get to 50 this morning?
Yeah,
Guys, can we
movement,
get to
baby.
50 backers this morning?
I've been drawing, by the way, while we're working. I've got my drawing glove on.
There you go.
There we
I
are.
typically do that when I'm on a stream, with the exception of this one, because running the back room can be.
Well, the blue art and stuff that you showed a minute ago, the one I shared with you, that's the page I'm currently working on.
Oh, very nice.
Trying to finish.
Very nice. So
Call me insane. Oh, indie comic customer support teams. Then, yeah. That's what we're
Well,
looking
that's why
at
I'm
with
trying to
Arrow.
get on more streams, by the way, Luke.
Yeah.
And I got to get a hold of, because like Ethan and I used to talk way back in the day. I've got his email, but it might be his old email because I can't seem to get a hold of him anymore. And this is the problem is I have a tendency I'm an isolationist. I like to be left alone.
Oh yeah.
And I will go like a year between talking with friends. It's weird as an introvert. And I have other introvert friends, so they're fine with it. It's like, oh, it's been a year, but we take up like we've. But Ethan, I don't know. I think he's gotten so busy that he's not seeing my emails, and I really want to get a hold of him because I think that we could hit the $6,000 mark pretty quickly if we could get the attention of one freaking top guy. And we have two top guys right now in the indie community. You know who they are.
Message him on Twitter. That's how you get a hold of him.
Now, Graham and Chuck have done a lot for me over the years. In fact, if you show that image,
you have to send him.
It's got Mike Barron, and that's the reviews by Mike Barron and by Chuck Dixon. And Mike Barron is writing the introduction to the book.
Good.
I barely even had to ask him. He jumped right at it. By the way, that panel right there, that splash page, that is my homage to Graham, because that is a nod to his Phantom comic splash page.
Okay.
I inverted it. It's the opposite, and behind him was a palm tree. And this one, I made it the needle in Seattle.
The needle.
And why did I choose Seattle? Because I lived there. I loved Seattle back before it went insane.
Before it is what it is now, right?
And so the story actually takes place right around 2014, 2015, before things went nuts up there. I'm trying to keep the politics out of it.
No one can get a hold of
EVS via email. A lot of people struggle with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, because that's how he and I used to talk, but he doesn't respond anymore. And I need to get a hold of him because I think he's the person that could get us funded pretty quickly. And we only have 15 days.
He certainly has a platform to use, and whenever he does help people, they normally do.
He is very
normally
helpful.
do get funded pretty well, pretty quick. Now there was an argument. Well, there was I'm not going to say argument. There was the mandate years ago that in order to make it in this space, you needed to have a YouTube channel and build your own platform so that you could share it in reciprocity. We're seeing that we've got a lot of people trying to build YouTube channels,
It's
but really
limited.
we're sharing the audience, aren't we?
Yep.
It's the same audience, no matter where you go. It's just a smaller portion of the audience.
Exactly, because it's almost like a community. And we're upwards around 10,000 right now subs on our channel on Pop Culture Minefield. And a lot of these people have already funded it. The majority of the people who have funded the book are from that community.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to find new ways of reaching out and finding more people that aren't watching our channel that not been exposed to this artwork.
You might want to get a hold of Mandy and Shane. They do some. They do some creative.
Yeah, I know who Mandy is.
The trick is to get yourself out in front of as many people as you possibly can. But again, what does that mean?
Lofty Pixels is somebody I'm also going to be talking to soon about getting some help from him.
Yeah. So the question is, what is the most effective way to get out in front of people? Is it YouTube? Is YouTube still the way to do it? The algorithms tend to hurt.
We don't have published magazines like we used to, Luke.
I don't know, because what's his face? Dave Brink. He doesn't do a lot of the streams or anything like that. I think he did Drink with Brink or whatever a little while ago, but he doesn't do much, and like he's killing it. He just uses Twitter and maybe Facebook.
Twitter is great. My problem with Twitter is if I post something about my book, I get a few hundred impressions. It's when I post my political stuff or my anti-Kathleen Kennedy stuff, and I tag like Mexican Iron Man and some of those guys, and then I'm getting thousands of views on those. But if I post something about independent comics, nothing. I get hardly any views.
Yeah, you need to find a way to kind of wrangle whatever your controversial stuff is into it and just hitch it to the plow. Because, like, for instance, the book that I did, our team did really, AR-13L, Little Mermaid. We specifically saw there was a controversy with the Little Mermaid movie that was coming out, and because of that, we rode the wave of the promotion from them. And so, anytime they were posting something, we were counter posting like artwork or things that went against what their thing was. And then I had a search inside of Twitter that looked for the top 100 tweets of the day, basically, that were over a certain threshold of like 100 likes or 50 likes or whatever it was. And I would hit every one of those and drop a promotional like link or interact with the people and kind of get a vibe for it, and then go from there. And I mean, it was totally guerrilla marketing, and it was very, very specialized because we were going after that specific movie. But at the same time, we managed to do this without. I have almost zero YouTube presence. My team, they have a little bit more, but it's just that we had an established brand kind of thing, because like, well, I've been around CG since 2018, and a lot of these other guys have as well. And so I've made those friendships and connections with a lot of these other streamers and stuff, and was able to get the team online on the different streams and stuff over time. But we really just pounded the pavement, just attacking and finding places where we could throw that link and share the artwork anywhere we could. And that's how we really got it funded. So
it's a lot of hustle.
Yeah, it was tough. I mean, you just said earlier, how do you balance all this stuff? You don't. I mean, something slips, obviously, and there's things that slip here and there. I wasn't sleeping very much for the first couple of months, but with your situation, it's a little bit different because you don't have like a movie or something to bounce it off of, but you do have the political stuff you can work with. You can find angles there, even with like a certain movie comes out that has tones that are similar to yours. Hey, you like this kind of thing? Check out what we've got going over here.
Well, Echo's out. Features an amputee, right? Tie that in.
There you go.
Tie it in.
That's a good idea. And I like Hojo too, because I'm watching the shit out of Reacher. I'm a big fan of that.
Oh hell yeah.
Yeah. And so I really could be.
Yeah, I think that's the key.
Hojo needs to take over my marketing.
Well, I think when you build a following based on commentary, the key is to try to use commentary to advertise what you do, right? The majority of the audience that has gathered around my channel now has come because of Fund My Comic, right? So anything I work on, like when I start to advertise Fund My Comic, I actually need to let people know that because most of my conversations are built around promoting everyone's crowdfunding, I'm not going to be crowdfunding anymore for the smaller things. In fact, what I'm going to be doing is I've got a monthly sub over on my website for $5 a month. You get all the pages as they're done and they come out. So you get regular posts, behind the scenes stuff. You become a community with us. And then whenever the books are finished, the floppies are finished, we just send you out a physical copy as part of your membership. So that's what I'm moving to now. So trying to get people on the LukeStoneStudios.com site doing that, so that when I'm out promoting, I can focus not just on promoting my campaigns, because inevitably we wind up talking about the entire thing. And I want everyone that's over there to be successful in the books they do without me trying to feel like I need to take time away to promote my own personal work. Right. So I'm trying to find a balance, a new way of doing that, so that people that do want to support what Luke is doing and the stuff that I create will be able to get it. But then it also incentivizes me to make sure that I'm getting that work done. Because I've got people.
What the freak does Hojo mean, by the way? I don't understand that. I'm about to put out a promo to eat for you, Gary. Does he mean like a different word than eat, or
who knows?
Treat. Hojo,
does
what are
he
you
have a
talking about?
TBI? Because I talked to Hojo and I think he's got a TBI.
Zero ad buy. See, a lot of people talk about buying ads. I've bought ads before, and they have not been successful.
No,
right?
Because they don't target.
No, they don't target.
You target individually. You target better than paying for an ad.
Now, with the ads, you can target. You have to really, really know your demographic, though, and go in and specialize those ads specific for that thing. And there's all the deep down in the settings for those ads, you can really, really get granular.
Well, there's ad agencies that do that stuff, and people that studied marketing and advertising their whole lives to do those things. And we're comic book creators. Some of us part-time.
What I noticed about Twitter recently is that I picked up the premium subscription, or whatever the hell it's called, so I could use the, just play around with the new AI. I was just intrigued by it, see how, what it could do. And it sucks at Latin, by the way. But what I noticed is that before I had the premium thing, nobody saw my posts. I've been following people forever. I post my art and whatever, my things, a ridiculous amount, and nobody saw them. But as soon as I got the premium thing, immediately everybody saw my stuff, and they're like, wow, you do this? I'm like, you've been following me for a year and a half and you haven't seen anything I posted?
So we're always fighting algorithms, aren't we?
Yeah, just
and
you
get shadow banned too if you're controversial. YouTube, they shadow banned our channel, and we were at a stalemate with them. We couldn't grow. We got new viewers, but for some reason we weren't growing. And finally, I outwitted Google by paying for Google ads, because they're not going to punish you for paying them to promote your show. And so all of a sudden, we started skyrocketing our subscriptions to our channel. And you just got to outwit Google.
Yeah,
there's some shitty people working there.
Shadow banning is it's part of the reason why we started Fun My Comic. And, and now Fundiverse or Fundiverse.
Well, you were pissed at the fact that so many people were having their money taken from them.
Yeah, that was
because they had the wrong political view.
Yeah.
Social or even socio-political view.
Yeah. I hated that, right? So, but again, we're still talking about how we reach the same market that's on Twitter, that's on YouTube, when there are so many people that are actually out there reading, or potential readers for comics, that aren't in those circles and know nothing about. There are people out there that are buying comics, that love comics, that are buying manga, that if you mention EVS and Eric July and that beef, they have no idea what you're talking about.
There's an E on the end of that, wise guys. Anyway.
Yep. So, how do you reach a new organic market? I think is really kind of the trick that we're going to be running into this year, and we're going to do our best, I think, to come up with new ideas if we can to try to do that. I know we have some things in the works at Arrow.
Gotta try it.
And IAB. And so once we try it, once we see if it works, hopefully we'll have some good things to report. But I don't think crowdfunding is going to go away anytime soon. In fact, I think it's going to be probably more used, but in a different way.
Yeah.
You're going to see these timed campaigns like this.
Fun divers. There we are.
Yeah.
So what I saw a little while ago.
Yeah, on the end of that, wise guys. Good.
What I saw a little while ago, I was thinking not exactly outside the box, but There's a YouTuber does news or whatever, Tim Pool, and one of the bigger YouTubers out there. And he got together with a couple, split the cash, I think, on like an ad, and he did like the Times Square New York thing, right? There is potential there. I guess you could do some like extremely like not just internet, but like real world advertising. It could be, but it worked for him.
Yeah, we get so stuck on the internet, right?
Yeah.
That we forget about people that walk into buildings and don't do anything on the internet like what we do, right? So I think we're missing. Yeah, they're customers. We're missing a market there, I think.
I mean, it worked for them. It worked for Tim Pool, and it's you could easily do something with it in major cities. I know that there's also radio stations. In Canada here, we have a jazz station. You can rent time on the station once a year. They do this thing, and you can basically say whatever you want, right? And they'll do the ad for you. There's all kinds of other alternatives to just Twitter and social media. And like you said, we're stuck in this I don't know thing because we use it all the time. But there are people all over the place, and there's other advertising options.
Yeah. So I rarely, if ever, will promote anything on the Green site, but I have to bring this up because my boss, my client, launched this book that I've been working on for a number of months now, called Terminal Kill. And
my kind of book right there.
Yeah, let me just play this trailer for you.
After the trailer, I have a question though.
Hi, my name is Tony Armour, and I am the creator of Terminal Kill. Terminal Kill is a 7-issue limited series comic book and trade paperback that is based off an awards finalist screenplay that I wrote. This is a project that I've worked on for nearly 20 years, trying to get it made as a feature film, and it's gone through a lot of stops and starts over the years, but now it's coming to life as a graphic novel. Terminal Kill is a 1980s Cold War action spy thriller throwback. It takes place modern day, but it has that kind of sensibility to it. Terminal Kill is about Kendra Volkov. She is a terminally ill single mom who is recruited by this mysterious former government agent, Mr. Griffin, to assassinate the head of a human trafficking ring. All for the promise of a better future for her son and mom that has Alzheimer's. Kendra's going to be dead in 6 months. She has PSC, primary sclerosing cholangitis. That's a mouthful, I know. It's a liver disease, and if she doesn't get that liver transplant, she's going to die. Well, this mysterious man, Mr. Griffin, comes along and says, if you kill this man, I'll make sure your family's taken care of for the rest of their lives. In that kind of scenario, what do you do? Kendra has a 10-year-old son, Cooper, and her mom, Magda, is in a home with Alzheimer's. She has no idea what's going to happen to them when she's gone. And so this offer from Mr. Griffin really gives her hope that something can take care of her family in the future. The story of Terminal Kill is based off an old conspiracy theory that a friend of mine, Dale Popo, kind of came up with this crazy concept. What if the CIA has been using terminally ill people for dozens and dozens of years to do their dirty work? Lee Harvey Oswald shoots Kennedy, Jack Ruby shoots Lee Harvey Oswald, and then Ruby dies in prison of cancer. This crazy conspiracy theory is the basis for Terminal Kill. Mr. Griffin is a mysterious former government agent who recruits terminally ill people to do assassinations. In the story of Terminal Kill, Alec Pajari is a Russian mobster. He runs an organ and a human trafficking ring, funneling money to the Shanghai Six, an international criminal organization. Griffin is dedicated to bringing down the Shanghai Six, and this is one small part of his mission: take out Alec Pajari and cut off the billions of dollars that come in through this illegal organ and human trafficking trade. It's a story full of action, suspense, and intrigue. You really feel for Kendra as you just don't know what she's going to do and how she's going to handle this situation. She's untrained. No one has taught her how to assassinate somebody before. And now this crazy man has said, kill Alec Pajari and I'll make sure your family's taken care of for the rest of their lives. If you were in this situation, what would you do?
I'd kill the dude.
I'm really looking forward to bringing this
down.
story to life. I can't wait for you to support it so we can get this out there to the world so people can realize this intricate and fun action spy world of Terminal Kill. Thank you so much for checking out this Kickstarter campaign. Thank you so much for watching the video. We look forward to getting this out there for you to see soon.
Yeah, it's a very long trailer.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
But he's a good communicator and a very cool premise. So it's a book I've been working on. And I started this. This was actually done. This page was actually done in 2022. So I started a long time ago. And so fortunately, the art is progressively gotten better as I've gone. But it's been a very slow burn going through there because I do about 5 pages a week for that. And so pretty excited about it. I am very disappointed that we're launching on Kickstarter, not Fund My Comic. But he, being in the film industry, has friends over there. And so he decided to go there. We will be bringing it to Fund My Comic. It's at $1,411. We still have, we need to raise $10,000 on this to hit the goal. 27 days left to go. If you would go over there and support that, I know that you may not like the green site, or you might be like, Luke, why are you on the green site? Well, you go where your clients go, right? That's where he opted to launch. But this is the book. You can get all 7 issues. So I have to do a little housekeeping there, guys. Please go over there and support Tony and the work that we're doing with Terminal Kill. We've got about 10 weeks worth of work left on that, and it'll be for my part of the work, and then it'll be done. And we still have letters and colors to get done on those last few pages as well. Don't forget going over to fundiverse.com and start your campaign. The first 25 campaigns will get a 1% platform fee. That way we can populate that site and start getting people to we might
and looky there, I'm your first one.
Yeah, we've got one around over there already. Vindicated. And speaking of Vindicated, over here in Fund My Comic is funding at 48 backers right now. Can we throw a little more love on this? Can somebody flip Gary the Bird one more time, please?
Hey, WizGiz, it's an old friend of mine. You should drop a buck or
Wise
two.
guy. Wise guy. Yeah.
There you go.
I've always called him WizGiz.
Yeah. Oh, dude, that's an improvement to what he's been called before. So yeah.
Which, by the way, Pedro, I wanted to get a hold of you because I want to do a new animation, animatic trailer.
Oh,
and,
yeah, dude.
I've got a lot of pages, so
I am at your service.
You salute like an Air Force person.
I do. Yeah, dude. I live in Latin America surrounded by monkeys, so it's all going to be.
I'm poking fun at the Air Force because that's.
Yeah, dude. I'm imitating Fred Skull. Yeah, I'm imitating Fred Skull from Benny Hill. Like.
I used to do that all the time.
Yeah.
Fundiverse. Or Fundiverse. Unless we were having trouble spelling it.
I like to remove the E off the end of it, and it's Fun Divers. I like that.
Fun Divers. Fun Divers.
Fun Divers.
Yeah, everything aquatic.
All things aquatic.
Yeah, Fun Divers.
Yeah, can we get another backer on that? I mean, I would love to see 50 backers before we close.
There are going to be 3 books to this, by the way, Luke. Again, I would like to continue on, but I probably won't draw those. I'll just probably be writing them by the time we get done with the 3rd graphic novel, because that's 155 pages per book, and there's a lot of stuff happening there. This was intended to be a movie too. I wrote a screenplay for it, and there are actors that are involved with the comic book. They all signed likeness agreements with me. Including Kurt Yeager from Sons of Anarchy, because he has a prosthesis, and Kurt Yeager is the main character in the book.
Very cool.
And and I've got a lot of friends, dudes from Battlestar Galactica that are in the book. And I like using my actor friends. There's an English version of this book. It's a tie-in called Pilgrim that I plan to do with Robert Shannon, an English actor that wanted to be Vindicated for England. And we'll eventually put those out. I want to put out all the graphic novels, 1 per year.
I was
kind
of curious about the maquette. That's like what was the price on that thing?
There's no price on it yet.
Oh,
what
okay.
you have is if you get certain ones, And I forget. Can you pull it back up again, Luke? Because I forget which ones you can get the maquettes with.
Is that made already? Did you have somebody?
I've got Kendall Hart as a friend of mine that's going to be doing the artwork. I've got to get more so I can pay him because he's going to get. He's got to get a portion of this. Is this it? No, there it is. That's the first maquette, isn't it? The 500. No, it's the next one. There it is. There are two 500s. It's the 1/12 scale maquette with John with the battle damage. That's where you get the first one because I got to make sure I can pay him, and he will get paid literally off of the first one, and because everything else is planned out. So I had to create a whole new tier just for this one. And what's that?
Slacker 23 is asking, Luke, is there a visual preview of individual contributions instead of only words?
I'm not sure what you're
on the tiers on the campaign.
Oh no, you can have visual. Yeah, it's
there's stuff there. Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, it's completely HTML editable. So you can do that. Here, let me show you a campaign that has done that. We'll just use Fiendish, for example. You can do visual representation.
I need to do that too, but God, that's even more time.
Mm-hmm. It is, but it helps so much.
I know it's worth it.
Yeah.
No, I asked about the maquette there because that's what I do. I make 3D models, action figures, all that kind of stuff.
Well, my buddy Kendall is the one that was planning to do the artwork, the sculpted, for me, and base it off of that artwork that he just went by, where he's got the battle damage mask. He's slouched over slightly because he's been roughed up. And I just thought it would be fucking badass. I'm sorry, I've used the F word again. How many are you allowed? Did I go over?
I think we did, but that's okay.
Yeah, we've gone over our allotment by a bunch.
So sorry. Today. I'm former military. I have a bad mouth.
Well, yeah, we've gone over by a lot today. But, it is what it is. Why?
The actor.
Why? Because fuck them, that's why.
The guy, R.J. William, asks, Battlestar Galactica is one of my inspirations for my upcoming comic. The guy from Battlestar Galactica, I forget his name right now. I've met him several times, had dinner with him, lunch, and he's the actor who was the maintenance guy that worked on the vehicles in Battlestar, ended up being a Cylon. And I met him at a convention one time. We just chummed around. He bought one of my books. And we just liked each other. And I asked him if I could use his face in the book. And he's like, yeah. And he signed the agreement. But I would crap on him whenever I would see him. I went, hey, it's the guy that was the janitor on Battlestar Galactica.
Yep.
He's a janitor. I was a maintenance guy. Same thing.
All right. So I have one more quick topic I want to talk about before we close this down. We're going to close down here in
7 minutes out. Yeah.
7 minutes out, guys. So do you think that the beefing that's going on right now in independent comics is going to help grow either of the audiences? Like, do you think it's going to improve Eric's audience? Is it going to improve Ethan's audience? Is it going to help independent comics in general? The whole CG tag gets thrown around in here. Do you think it's going to impact the number of people that are willing to align with that, or that currently align, maybe not aligning with it anymore? What do you think? What's your speculation? Quickly, give me 2 minutes each.
Spite marketing never works in the long run. Never. The whole idea behind it is stupid, and it grows apathy instead of attention. It's only going to hurt. It's going to hurt everything all around as more people, especially on the outside, decide that this whole thing is just full of a bunch of aggravant Beavis and Buttheads and leaves the market in general and goes over to video games or novels or wherever. Stop it. Cut it out. Do it now and start talking positively about this industry and how great this art form is. That's what you need to do.
Amen. Ring the bell for yourself, Randy.
Oh,
Yeah, please.
Pedro, go 2 minutes.
Okay,
man.
so
You got it.
I'm not one to tell adult males what to do, or an adult what to do. If they want to fight, hey, dude, have at it. But I have to agree with Randy. Like, this is not going to benefit anyone. Because it's not going to be about the books anymore. It's going to be about who wants the fight.
There's a difference between mature adult males and Beavises and immature kids. You know.
But you know what I mean, Randy.
I do.
In the end, it's going to be about who won the big brawl of 2024.
Yep.
And all the books are going to be on the guard because nobody cares about the books anymore.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I say I agree. Stop it. Talk about your books, man. You guys both have amazing books, and they have merits on their own. They have flaws on their own. You don't need to be at each other's throats to sell more books. I don't see it.
I think both sides. I think they're right about some things and wrong about some things.
Yeah,
I think they've done some good things. I think they've done some bad things. It takes two to tango.
Yep.
Whiskey, what do you think?
I think there'll be a slight boost for each creator as like people tribalize and go one way or the other. Then it's just going to drop off a cliff after that, and it's really going to hurt the creators that are around them that are trying to fund their stuff as people faction off, because then previously a huge chunk of people that could have supported your stuff are now not going to support your stuff because of whatever reason, because they picked the tribe, whoever was in what tribe. And I think we're already seeing that now.
I do. Gary, what's your thoughts?
Well, Randy said it. It's basically you're creating factions, and it's just spreading people out, thinning out the herd, and people are going to just walk away. Drama turns people off. Nerds tend to be, a bulk of them tend to be introverts, and so they just walk away from it. Nobody wants to be around drama. Nobody. And the people that partake in that crap are problematic for what you're trying to do. How can you sell with negativity? You can't, which is, again, what Randy was saying. You can't create a negative vibe and, do anything productive from it. It's just, they're doing damage.
And it's clear that there's backroom conversations from all sides. People trying to, and for some reason, people really want to take down Ethan. And you see that there's these little groups that try to pop up to do that. I don't even understand what was going on with Yellow Flash. I like the guy, I have no problem with him at all. But
I like him too. But yeah,
sharing page rates and and then blocking people, and I don't get it. Like, it kind of comes out of nowhere. I don't see how it's not consolidating the market at all. Nope. When we all talk about market share, it's easy to grab some initial share of the market for whatever reason, but it's difficult to hold on to it long term. And that's why nobody takes independent comic books seriously, because of the infighting and the lack of quality and the this and the that. And it goes across the board. You have all kinds of issues. I don't know. Pixel, what are your thoughts?
Is he back?
Yeah, I'm back. Over the last 5 years, this type of stuff has become cyclical. You see it happen pretty regularly. The interesting part here and unfortunate part is that the big guys don't seem to be hurt by it. They drum up the drama. They fight with each other. Their numbers have gone up over the years. You've seen the campaigns that started back in 2018. They were making 6 figures on Lady was amazing. Everybody was 100K, 200K. It was amazing. Now they're reaching up to $1 million, but the pool has gotten smaller. Just looking at the amount of people that I see on streams, looking at the interactions on Twitter and whatnot, it seems like the pool of people has gotten smaller, or at least they've created more of a cult of personality. And so these people are backing the people that follow. So like all these people that come in and back Ethan or back July, they are there for them. They're not backing the smaller creators that are in that sphere anymore. You're not seeing nearly as many of the smaller guys getting the rising tide effect that we saw back in 2018, 2019, even 2020. And I think if we continue to see the fighting here, we're going to continue to have those factions, the lines drawn. People are going to keep fighting back and forth. People are going to get tired of it. I know for myself, I don't watch streams anymore. I got tired of it. It's the same stuff over and over again all the time. same complaining, same fighting. I just can't do it. I don't have the time for it. I've got two little kids now too. I've got a book that I'm trying to publish. I've got a full-time job. I don't have time for their bullshit. That's what it comes down to. And I'm not going to listen to their stuff anymore. So I miss promotion because I don't want to watch the streams anymore.
So hashtag Iron Age, hashtag Comicsgate. Do you think that you think more or less people are going to start using those are going to be using those hashtags, or do you think more people are just going to start stepping away and using hashtag me, doing their own thing? What do you think?
I see people already moving to Iron Age from CG, but I think it was more of a marketing ploy than an actual professional profession of what they are. But I don't think so. I think that using the hashtags at this point right now actually paints a target on your back more so than just going out there and showing what you're doing. I don't think you don't have to. You don't have to fly the flag. Okay, I'm gonna catch heat probably, but I don't really care. I don't use hashtag Comicsgate or Iron Age very often at all anymore anyway, because I don't want that to be associated. Not that it has to be associated with my team. Is Comicsgate. I'm Comicsgate. It is what it is. But to reach a wider audience and to understand, we already talk about leave the politics at the door all the time. If you're putting that in there, you're instantly painting a target on your back, and you're saying, okay, I'm only serving this group here. You're not even giving a wider audience a chance to, because a lot of that stuff is stigmatized, and they're going to look at, what is Comicsgate? Oh, it's all this bad stuff that's complete lies. But because it's been boosted so much and it gets all the attention, the wiki page comes up first when you look at what is Comicsgate. Even though I purchased whatiscomicsgate.com and put Mike's article on there years ago. That's a whole other story. So anyway.
All right. Guys, thanks so much for being here today. Gary, thanks for stopping by. Thanks, chat, for supporting Gary this morning, everybody. Flipping him the bird a few times.
Anytime you want me to drop in, dude, I'll join you.
Don't forget, next week is our 100th episode. We're going to be doing giveaways every hour. Be sure to swing by and check that out. Mark your calendars for it. The following week, we will have Eric July, and we'll be asking him tons of questions about his thoughts on the industry and what he thinks needs to happen for indie comics to really, truly grab a part of the market share and what his plans are to do that himself. Remember, check out aerocomics.store, fundiverse.com, fundmycomic.com. All of these great creators, find them on Twitter. And don't forget, it's easy to tear down, build up more than you tear down, leave the wood pile higher than you found it. And by all means, my friends, please be careful out there.
Let's be careful out there. Let's be careful out there. We had a 187 at the 7-Eleven on the corner of 4th and Main. Two Caucasians of the male persuasion put a bullet through the cashier's brain. Moving on, I see a 211, half a dozen 459, 2 W's a GTA, several miscellaneous crimes.